I'm trying to breathe, I'm sinking underwater. I try to escape. I think I'm drowning, this feeling gets stronger, and I'm not quite ready to break. I'm trying to breathe, I'm sinking underwater. I try to escape. I think I'm drowning, this feeling gets stronger, and I'm not quite ready to break. I try to escape. I think I'm drowning, this feeling gets stronger, and I'm not quite ready to break.
I'm trying to breathe, I'm sinking underwater. I try to escape. I think I'm drowning, this feeling gets stronger, and I'm not quite ready to break. I'm trying to breathe, I'm sinking underwater. I try to escape. I think I'm drowning, this feeling gets stronger, and I'm not quite ready to break. I'm trying to breathe, I'm sinking underwater. I try to escape. I think I'm drowning, this feeling gets stronger, and I'm not quite ready to break.
I'm trying to breathe, I'm sinking underwater. I try to escape. I think I'm drowning, this feeling gets stronger, and I'm not quite ready to break. I'm trying to breathe, I'm sinking underwater. I try to escape. I think I'm drowning, this feeling gets stronger, and I'm not quite ready to break.
I'm trying to breathe, I'm sinking underwater. I try to escape. I think I'm drowning, this feeling gets stronger, and I'm not quite ready to break. I'm trying to breathe, I'm sinking underwater. I try to escape. I think I'm drowning, this feeling gets stronger, and I'm not quite ready to break.
I'm trying to breathe, I'm sinking underwater. I try to escape. I think I'm drowning, this feeling gets stronger, and I'm not quite ready to break. I'm trying to breathe, I'm sinking underwater. I try to escape. I think I'm drowning, this feeling gets stronger, and I'm not quite ready to break. I'm trying to breathe, I'm sinking underwater. I try to escape. I think I'm drowning, this feeling gets stronger, and I'm not quite ready to break. I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let you.
I'm gonna live for you,
I'm gonna let you.
I'm gonna live for you,
I'm gonna let you.
I'm gonna live for you,
I'm gonna let you.
I'm gonna live for you.
I'm gonna let you.
And welcome back to Humble Pie. I'm your host, Jimmy D, and today we have got ourselves an extravaganza of content coming your way. We've got 3 rounds of content coming your way, 3 rounds of amazing players and some awesome games that can go pretty quickly, and some of them that can take some time, but that's all the fun about One Piece TCG, depending on what you're playing. Sometimes the game can go long, sometimes it can go short, but you can still keep playing the game, and that's what's fun about it. I really enjoy this game right now. It is absolutely a tremendous time to get into this game. We've got starter decks right around the corner that are sure to change up everything dramatically here. I'm really looking forward to what's going to be happening with some of those starter decks that are coming out at the end of this week. And just to let you guys know that we will be having the battle this Friday at Lifelink Games, where you can play for those amazing new promos that are coming out for this new battle that actually look pretty cool. I was looking at some of the cards that they were giving away, and as part of this participation, you pick a deck, you play with the deck. I don't know if there's anything with you merging that pack into it or not. I'm pretty sure that isn't a thing. You just get the deck and there's an additional pack, which oftentimes, honestly, has some pretty cool stuff to it. something you should really be thinking about yourself, because sometimes those packs, I mean, we've seen it on stream where you've got manga was pulled from one of those packs, which was absolutely outstanding. There was some amazing stuff from the other people with the SPs and random stuff, and sometimes obviously they're duds, but that's what it is when you're opening up these packs, guys. It can go up and go down, it can be good, it can be bad, it's all random, it's all just, you know, just a chance for victory and a chance for success, all in the chance of you opening up said pack here. That lottery-esque aspect that comes with opening packs that are today. So, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Today, of course, in talking about that, we also have 2 packs to give away to you. So, if you haven't yet, it's about time. Hit that exclamation point join. We have 2 packs to give away at the end of the stream here. You could register on YouTube or on Twitch, your choice, to get your chance to get one of these 2 free packs. We're going to give it away. There should likely still be 1 hit left with these 8 packs. That means we got 4 weeks left, which will give us not enough time actually before we get into the next set. So I'm going to have to be getting us something decent to kind of push us over into the OP17 meta, where I'm going to be getting a community box for OP17, hoping to get you guys some amazing hits. Who knows, could pull even that amazing new manga card, that new special rarity card that they have for the Monkey Luffy leader, which is going to be absolutely $20,000 insanity. It's something I would love to clip and send out to the rest of you guys, and have one of you guys that watches my stream and comes out here to support me, checking that card out and just showcasing how amazing the feeling is to just literally watch a channel and get a $20,000 card for watching. Now, no guarantee I'm going to pull it, of course. No guarantee I'm going to be able to see it. But there is always that opportunity anytime you open up any of these packs, which is what we all kind of chase for sometimes. Sometimes to our own detriment. Well, we do have some awesome card reveals that we want to get into today. There's a lot of new stuff that's been dropping out kind of systematically, almost daily here on the Discord that is for the One Piece game. Got a lot of new stuff coming out for 17 that we're going to be looking into. Want to see what card's going to be pushing us in one way or the other. I've seen some stuff on the sim where what's been released so far right now, just with what we have currently and what Big Mom is coming out. The Big Mom seems to be a very strong deck and something to be feared, but is anybody else surprised that yellow was a feared deck and you had an existing model that makes it good? I was not surprised. Obviously, the card's been doing some fantastic work. And of course, that leader ability being this constant attack threat of, you know, changing what your opponent's doing by costing them a card or doing something is kind of threatening. It's very, very, very scary. There are some counters to it. There are some things that you can do about playing against that deck and in the meta, so be prepared for that. And we'll be walking through all the new decks as we get all prepared for the next big event, where we have the Nationals event, or the first round of the Nationals. That's gonna be down in Dallas. I'll be down there with those people, not participating in the main event, but over in the Gum Gum Flame Fruit Challenge Cup. I will be participating in that, and I'll be looking forward to, or taking my best deck and hoping I can get at least 3 wins back to back to back and start cashing out and maybe go further. Of course, the bet is to try to, you know, just set your expectations to a realistic level. Make sure that you've practiced and you kind of understand the meta as best you possibly can, and go in there knowing that it is completely a variance-based game. So win or lose, who cares? Sometimes, like, all you got to do is just hope that you put your best foot forward. You thought every single move through, you played at a rapid pace, and you made a fun experience for everybody else that happens to be a part of that challenge with you. So if you come out to that event, you're out there, don't expect to win the Flame Through challenge, but if you do win, congratulations at a time. I'm proud of you for putting in the effort and being rewarded for all the testing you did, because I know there's a lot of people even from our local area, Xana the Dragon or whatnot, that are going to be coming to that event trying their best, and the man's been putting up some good results here. Let's see what he can do down south in Dallas against all the rest of the people who are also practicing day in, day out, checking and trying to see how well they're going to be doing, and this are like practicing their decks to improve their skills and prepare for that next stage of competition. Something that we in the channel spend a lot of time doing, trying to get people ready and prepared for that next stage of competition. Get you guys understanding what the card combinations you're going to have and how you're going to finagle through it, and how you're going to be able to navigate your own way into a massive championship. But I digress. It's time to do some card reveals, so let's get into it. We've got quite a few here to showcase here from the brand new cards revealed from the One Piece community, our card game community that's out here in Discord. So really looking forward to seeing if it's going to change my mind. I'm still leaning Shanks. Green Shanks looks to be one of my personal favorites. Obviously, right behind it's going to be yellow for the Big Mom, because that card effect on attack is super strong. But who's to tell? It's all paper right now. That's all we have. We have paper. That's all we can lean on. That's all we can look forward to. And until we can get into the actual gameplay and put these decks in front of people and actually, you know, force some effort here, we're never going to know. So let's get to it. All right, starting things off here, we have a new Hongo Bongo Babongo man here, who's a green character, 4 cost, 4,000 power, blocker on play, so up to one of your Dawn cards is active. Then rest up to 2 of your opponent's character cards with a cost of 2 or less. Okay, I automatically out the door. This is just telling me that we've got all these new cards that are really trying their best to kind of counter what the strength of the blue-green Monkey D. Luffy, which has been doing bang busters and numbers. I wouldn't say that it's the best deck in the format, but it is one of the best decks in the format. And this is just a nice little answer to trying to get those Weenie Rush decks out of the format as we try to get to these taller decks, which is what I'm seeing is kind of necessary for this new OP17 meta. A lot of the decks require you getting to that 10 cost character, like Big Mom. If you really want to play the synergistic Big Mom build here, you're gonna have a lot of characters at 4,000 power, and you're gonna want that Big Mom that buffs all those 4Ks into 8K bodies and makes for a massive endgame swing while you're doing all the setup in the middle of the game. So it's one of those things you're definitely gonna be on the lookout for. And these cards right here, while very good, I think make it situationally, because as this is a new OP17 anniversary set, they're going to push these cards harder than they've ever pushed the rest of them. The decks are going to be stronger than most of the stuff we've seen so far. It doesn't mean your stuff's unplayable, but it's going to feel like it. Anyways, you're going to see cards like this that are just going to be fitted and designed to make sure that the older format doesn't just kind of like run the floor with some of these new cards. If those decks happen to be in here, yeah, this card's going to see a lot of play. If not, it's a decent 2K blocker, good around stats, I guess. So not terrible. We'll find out if there's a different spot for it though. Especially in green, there's a lot of good blockers out there. You gotta be careful. There's a lot of choices for blockers that you can have in here. Obviously, being Shanks Pirate searchable within the Shanks deck is gonna be a plus, but never a guarantee for you to play with it. Then we got Brook, black character, OP17. If there's a character that costs 12 or more, this character gains plus 3,000 power. See, and now that we're getting into this constant Weenie Rush, we even have counters in the main event here. Rest of 2 of your characters that cost 2 or less. There's so many of these Weenie cards here in Monkey D. Luffy that even these cards seem like they're going to be a little bit outclassed here. I'm not a big fan of that. Uchiha, welcome back. Good to see you. Nothing really. We're just doing some card reveals right now. Got some news to talk about a little bit later, and of course that little controversy thing I kind of hinted to in the chat. But right now, just doing some card reveals for the new One Piece reveal. And thanks for joining us. All right, if there is a character that costs 12 or more, this character gains plus 3,000 power. It doesn't gain cost, so it does. This isn't going to be able to dodge you out of the resting ability of this card right here, which already gets some value playing up against this one. But on play, if there's a character that costs 12 or more, your opponent trashes 1 card from their hand. Not bad. Again, there are some cheaper cards that can get up to 12 that we've seen. You're going to need to see those pieces. We've only seen 2 of them, I think, at this point. So there is some weird stage where you can drop these things. I imagine what they're trying with this deck so far is they're just trying to make for late game big drops of a bunch of characters if you want. They're going to come out as 5K bodies, which is okay. But if I'm honest with you guys, the black 5K body nonsense, it's just not doing it today's meta. There's too many cards nowadays that give the leader plus 2K cap power, or to end a turn next to 2K power, or leaders that are just like advanced with that extra bit of attack power. That 5K bodies, it's just not there. I mean, you need the Dawn to invest in these attacks. Some of the decks they built, like Yamato, one of the biggest weaknesses I saw in Yamato is that there's not a lot of Dawn allocation available for you because you're trying to maximize the Dawn usage per turn. You're trying to win before they get to 10 Dawn because your late game strategy isn't as strong as the rest of the people, so you're trying to get as many swings as possible. But it's not easy if you're not playing against a 5K leader. And if you get these cards like this that get that plus 3K, it's great, fine. You get the 5K body for 2 decent stats if you can fulfill the requirements, but all it is a base 5. You're going to have to invest in it. You're going to have to put some Dawn into it if you're going to want to get anything. In reality, when you want to go 2 over and the leader's sitting at 7K, that means you're going to have to invest 4 Dawn just for this one thing to swing in and get some value swings, which is not the greatest of strategies right now. I could be wrong. It could be this is the answer to beat some of the other stronger decks out there, but while they're trying to hurt the older decks here, they're doing a number on hurting certain, some of the new decks that are coming out here, and I want Monkey Luffy to be good. I really do. I want this deck to be really powerful. I want to see Yamato see some more strength because I really enjoy Yamato, but when it comes to these 5k bodies that they're pumping out for black, it's not enough in this format where almost every leader, like Nami, who every turn can be 7k, or you got cards like Roronoa Zoro that buff up by 2k and leave the leader up there. You got Shanks that does the same thing. You've got Blackbeard or Whitebeard, I'm sorry, that does it on your turn that pumps it up. There's a lot of things that are being printed now, and you're going to see today in some of the future games we're going to talk about and watch, where some of these characters, like the whole strategy is just getting my leader up to 7-9k for the turn and making it impossible for my opponent to swing in without, I mean, value wise anyways, and I get to use very little counter to get around whatever attack they throw at me. Next, we got Charlotte Pudding, yellow character, OP17, Big Mom Pirates, counter 1k. On play, you make trash one card with Trigger from your hand, draw 3 cards. Trigger, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 Big Mom Pirates card, and add it to your hand. Then you can put the rest of the cards in the bottom of your deck in any order. All right. The Trigger is trash 1, draw 3. Not bad. That's pretty strong. Or I'm sorry, the on play here. The Trigger, sure, as a searcher, interesting. For a searcher, it is a 4k body, so we'll get pumped up for the other Charlotte Linden we've seen already, and the stats aren't bad here. It's kind of an awkward searcher, really. It's kind of like if it's the blue Otama we've seen here recently, where it was the card that allows you to just dig through when the real search was just drawing additional cards. It is what, trash 1, draw 2. It is a 2 for 2, right? Yeah. 2, no, you draw 1+1, so it is a +1 on the ratio here. The guys don't know what I'm talking about. When you're doing in card math, when you're playing card games, one of the things you want to think about while you're building your deck, how do I get that +1 ratio? How do I get that +1 value from the return on investment? If I play 1 card and it kills 1 card, that's a 1 for 1. If I play 1 card and it kills 2 cards, that's a 2 for 1, which means I get a +1 value here. So if like you're playing Gravity Blade and you bottom deck 2 cards, that's a 2 for 1. Huge advantage. This one, you play the character, that's -1 card. You trash a card, that's -2 cards, but you draw 3 cards. So that is a +1 on the math here, which is a good value in return, given your situation here, and maybe even setting up some plays to have some stuff in the trash too. So this is really going to actually kind of empower a lot of struggles that Yellow Deck has been having in the early game strats, where they need to have an answer for the like Thriller, Slop, and whatnot to get going, and this will be a way to actually get that engine online on your second turn right away, which is pretty gross. So I don't know if I mean, obviously with the Big Mom Pirate Searcher, it is going to be locked to the Big Mom Pirates, but I do think this is actually this ability right here is not locked, so it's not going to be a bad add for certain decks, even like Nami, so long as there's more cards for the Big Mom Pirates added for the trigger effect to be a value. All right, purple character, who's this guy? I don't know who he is. Don -1, key out to 2 of your opponent's characters that cost 2 or less. Again, this is like this is the Kaido, but these weenie killers that they have here that are all focused on cost, it's also hurting a lot of the cards we've seen spoiled for Monkey Luffy. So I know that they're trying to kill the older decks, these little weenie rush decks that we've had a lot of like constant one cost blockers seeing more relevance in plays now that Lucci's no longer playable. We've seen a lot of people put those 2 cost character blockers in there because they're easy to play off, and there's some of the characters you can get for free off from a lot of the new cards. So there is a lot of value here, and obviously, and Nell's been pumping in some work. We've had some big work with blue green Monkey Luffy, but I feel like a lot of these cards that are designed to kill the older format are also kind of killing the new Luffy, which is kind of sad to see, but we'll see if we can get stuff around that. All right, Charlotte Smoothie, the most threatening character, kind of scary power this one has. Your turn on play, you may rest 2 of your Dawn cards, add up to 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life cards, then your opponent trashes 1 card from their hand. Outside of the body, it's not bad. The trigger, it's for a body, so you got to be really careful. You're not going to get this your turn on play because this is trying to lock out the ability for you to get the trigger and play this character. So the on play on a 5 cost, it's not terrible. And obviously you're going to need a 7 on your 7 on turn to be able to do this, to gain a life, which means you're probably going to be up to the Big Mom status to get this thing swinging by the time you play next turn. So curve wise, not bad, decent body. 4K is not that threatening on its own, but if you do have the Big Mom, it's going to hit your curve just right for you to be able to play this card, gain a life, trash a card from your opponent's hand, which is never terrible, but your opponent does pick. So this isn't one of those where you get to trash one from them. So the psychological damage of you doing it by yourself, very, very powerful over top of something where your opponent gets to pick a card to trash. Still not bad. Good stats. I don't know if I would say that this is like like right now it doesn't even seem like the Big Mom Pirates deck really is even going to be playing with the Big Mom Pirates cards, because where that deck shines right now is honestly just using some of the existing cards we already have. Another 2 cost here for Gerd. If your leader has the Elbath type character, this character gains 12 plus 12 costs. This is another one of the enablers here. So Gerd's going to be one of our 12 costs. It's actually going to be like 14 cost. It will be immune to those other cards that pop, but if you're going to be playing those cards that need to be enabled for this 12 cost body, you're losing those key pieces. And Gerd says, on play, you may trash one card from your hand, add to 1 card with the cost of 8 or less from your trash other than Gerd to your hand. So a nice little recursion, 2K body, enabler for the 12 cost if you need one. 3K body still requires an investment. We're having that same issue with Black, where Black is just requiring you to invest too much of your other Dawn for you to get these swings in. All right, next we have Dory, 5 cost, 5,000 power. This character gains plus 12 cost. Good, we got 17 costs here. On play, if your leader has the Elbath type, play up to 1 Broggy. I think we revealed this thing last time because we think the Broggy and Dory are going to be like similar abilities going back and forth. My bad. Yeah, and Fugar looks familiar as well. All right, Sanji Black. If there's a character with 12 or more costs, this character gains plus 3,000 power. On play, draw 2 cards, trash 2 cards. This is like a net 0. I mean, you get a card to play out for a body. Sure, you get a 5K body so long as you have an enabler. But again, this is something that's just going to be poppable with so many new cards coming out that are supporting some of the other decks from 17. These 2 cost bodies, guys, you got to be careful with them. Like they're going to be in danger range for a lot of these cards that pop. These 2Ks or 2 costs or less. But not bad anyways. This is going to be a card you're probably going to want to staple in because it does have the ability to cycle through your deck. Feed up your trash, get things going, and get those trash enabler effects going in your favor, as Black likes to do. Building Snake. Finally not a 1 cost here. On KO, KO to one of your opponent's rested characters that cost 6 or less. Okay. It has to be a rested character, so your opponent can play around this, but remember, Shanks can lock things down here. So given you are playing the red hair ability, you can feasibly make this a difficult card for them to want to swing into. It's not a blocker like the Lucky Roo card that makes things even more interesting, but it is one of those things where your opponent can definitely play around this ability, because on KO you can KO one of your rested characters 6 costs less. If Shanks hasn't locked a character down up to this point, it's going to be an easy swing. And it is 6 costs or less, so if Shanks uses his ability to lock something of higher cost, this is going to be kind of a useless anti-threat here. But item made once per turn, give it to 1 rested Dawn card to your Shanks later. So all in all, the good stats. I like the ability. I think Building Snake was somewhere that would give him the rested Dawn here. It is a great enabler. It does help for larger swings, and something that is always really good in red, but now seeing some good play in green. And honestly, you might see something like this in like the red green Luffy. Not really, I guess. Never mind. No, there's too many other good cards, red green Luffy, for this to be good. So it's a decent card. I can see this seeing some play. It does have kind of like don't KO me if I'm locking down a 6 cost or less. But we'll see. It's the Mole. Welcome. Good to see you. Thank you for the exclamation point join. Marco, I think we saw this one in our own Discord here. We're having some debates. If one of your characters is removed from the field by your opponent's effect, you may KO this character, and then on KO you can trash a card including Whitebeards from your hand, play this character from your trash. As Marcos go, I gotta say this is probably one of the better ones. Obviously, I like the blocker Marcos. Those are really nice because you can kind of like combo the fact that you're using it as a blocker to kind of get it back and then have this reoccurring blocker format. But those blockers require very, very unique cards to discard, like 8K body or certain kind of like cards. This one where you can trash a Whitebeard's card and a Whitebeard's deck, it's actually pretty good. It's actually pretty good. Xander, good to see you. Thank you so much for the exclamation point join. And on YouTube, thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, as a Red fan who's been playing Red for a while, this is arguably one of the better Marcos because this does have the capability of protecting your other cards. So if any of your characters, it's not even limited to what type of character, so you can put this really in anything. But if they would be removed from the field by your opponent's effect, you got a 6K body, which is always nice. One of the things I've seen is a weakness for other cards that we used to play with the 1 cost that would protect the board being 7K limited here. This is an all-around. You can protect the thing. Now, obviously, that makes it a little bit more awkward because you have to have Whitebeard Pirates to get this thing back from the trash. So you're going to have to play a hodgepodge with this. But this does have a larger protection window than most other cards that we've seen, and it has a body itself that kind of like deters your opponent from wanting to get into it because you're just going to get it back. So if they go big swing into it, yeah, okay, fine, I'll discard a Whitebeard's Pirate and get it back. And it's a lot better than those 1 costs because those 1 costs, and let's be real, when it comes to late game, those 1 costs really don't see much play, guys. They don't see, people aren't swinging in, they're not really doing much with those outside of the first couple phases, unless that's really the only thing that they have left to attack with, or they just really had a really bad start and the curve was going kind of anti their way. So all around, this is probably the power creep we're going to see with some bigger bodies that can protect this. Or this might just be like that standalone Zoro searcher that we saw for a while there. That was a nice body and a searcher in the mid game. I really enjoyed that one. Ooh, a new Nico Robin here. If there's a character that costs 12 or more, this character gains plus 3,000 power. Again, so weak. And the 2 cost here. On play, if there's a character that costs 12 or more, give it to one of your opponent's characters minus 3,000 power on during this turn. Yeah. Sure. I like this. I think it's neat. You got a lot of cheap characters. They were introducing so many cheap characters, but there's so much counter they're already printing for the new stuff that I feel like if you play against any of this new stuff, Shanks can just pop these things out of nowhere, leaving you vulnerable with the 12K enablers, which some of them not really that great. Like, let's be real, especially if you're playing the low cost ones. But you still need Dawn investment in this meta today. You got to have the Dawn investment for these 5K swings to be to be relevant at all, to be honest with you. And that's just one of the issues we're having with today's meta is it's not a 5K leader you're swinging into. It's a 7K, it's a 9K, it's an 8K. There's so many of these different leaders you're swinging into that you just, you need more Dawn investment to even get it, even poke at them, let alone try to go to value swing. You're good. All right, we got Alti in page 1. 6 cost, 6,000 power. On play, if your leader has the Animal Kingdom Pirates type, add up to 1 Dawn from your Dawn deck and set it as active. Then KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 3,000 power or less. I mean, if you have an ability to get rid of their 12 cost enabler, you can start popping some characters. But the good news is at least this is a static 3K power regardless of what turn. So not bad. This isn't terrible either. But it's definitely going to have a way to kill off those cards that protect cards now. With 3,000 power or less. Kazuki Odin 7 costs on play. If your leader is the Edward Newgate or has a Land of Wano type, play it to one character with a type including Land of Wano or Whitebeard Pirates card with 6,000 power or less from your hand. Okay. I like that they leader lock this. Good that they leader lock this because, wow, this could put out a lot of cards right now. But this, yeah, this is exactly what you want Red doing, guys. Having a character play another character out. Go wide. Go strong. Good stats. Very good. I mean, this is really starting to scream pretty good for Whitebeard. Obviously, no counter as it should be because it does play a character for free, but that's pretty strong. Another Ben Beckman Rush character. This card can attack characters on turns played. On play, if your leader's a red hair pirates type, draw one card and rest up to 2 of your opponent's characters. Oh, that's gross. There's no downside to this. And outside of no counter. You got a 7 cost 9k body rush. You get to rest 2 threats out of the way, and just the card replaces itself. Jeez. This is what I'm talking about. On paper, Shanks looks super strong. All right, now we have another 6 cost here for the Big Mom Pirates, another 4k body, of course. Your turn on play, so again, ignoring the ability to play this, you can't get this ability if you play it from trigger. You may rest 2 of your Dawn cards, draw 1 card, and add 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life cards, then give it to 2 of your opponent's characters minus 3,000 power. Yeah, you're going to be playing this at the 8 Dawn turn, or later. Hopefully you have a Big Mom to complement this one. Hopefully you have something that kind of pushes this one through. We'll see how that goes. Jaguar Diesel, this character gains plus 12. Nice. Okay. So we got some mid-range 12 cost enabler. On play, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, reveal to 1 Elbath type card, and add it to your hand, trash your rest. Well, I mean, honestly, I was just talking about how I liked the Zoro body here, and sure enough, Jaguar Diesel is just it's following suit with this. This is kind of stuff that I really honestly wish more and more decks had in One Piece, where you have the early game start, you could do a search, mid-game, good body, and get a search. I mean, sure, some of the effects are kind of important in the mid-game to help you get this, but having some mid-game body that allows you to keep searching and digging towards your later game so you can make your deck as consistent as possible towards the late game, kind of fix any of the lack of 2Ks or the overabundance of 2Ks and the lack of the big hitters that you might need in your deck. This is one of those perfect cards. This would 100% be an auto add, obviously, because it's an enabler for the 12 plus 12 costs, but it's also like really good stat line mid-game here on turn 2, maybe turn 3 if you're going first. You've got a good body and you can fix your hand. So this is all around good searcher. That's a good card. I like it. All right, another 2 cost Zoro here. If there's a character 12 costs or more, this character gains plus 3,000 power. You know what honestly these decks need? Give this character plus 1 cost. Give this character, please, plus 1 cost or something. Something to help the fact that this is so 2-for-1 vulnerable, it's disgusting. If one of your characters would be removed from the field due to your opponent's effect, you may place 3 cards in your trash to the bottom of your deck. Okay, well, good news is we have an answer. We have an answer to all the easy 2-for-1 removal. That's good news. It's the most says simply play stage. Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, the stage would just get it pumped up. Okay. Yeah, you need that. You need that. With all the stuff that they're printing nowadays, where they're making these cards so vulnerable to the new cards are supposed to hate the old format, you're gonna need something to make sure that you don't fall victim to the 2-for-1s they're printing. Because gosh, if I must have seen almost every color now, there's some card that is enabling a 2-for-1 for Weenie Rush. But at least we have some anti-removal here with Zoro. Nami, black character, on play you can trash 1 Elba type card, draw 2 cards. Okay, so this is like the Nico Robin from Yamato to Nami. It's cute that they got both Nami and Nico Robin with kind of similar abilities. 1k counter. I think the Nico Robin's actually 2k, if I remember correctly. Chain Low, good to see you. Thanks, exclamation point, join. But yeah, this is a common card here. I like it. Trash 1 Elbath card, so obviously it just fits for Elbath, where it's like in the Nico Robin, you need to do a Yamato based card for the discard. All right, another body here, 3 cost, 4k body. Play this card. Again, these triggers are constantly doing this. You're not going to be able to get the ability here on these triggers here, but you're going to get a lot of bodies out here. Your turn, you may rest 2 of your Dawn cards. If your leader has the Big Mom Pirates, add up to 1 card. A lot of gain life from these cards. But it's always a turn away from when you want to be playing these cards. So one of the things I'm seeing a big theme here for a lot of these Big Mom cards, you're always wanting to play like kind of behind to get the 2 rested to gain the life. Which is not ultimately terrible. But at the end of the day, cards like this really make it so you're going to need to get Big Mom to make these cards actually pretty viable, because a 4k body, it's just as frustrating as a 5k body comments I'm having. too much Dawn investment. Way too much Dawn investment. You don't always have that Dawn investment for swings. Yeah, here we go. Here's a man, Tony Choppa. This character that costs 12k, this character gains unblockable. Alright, sorry. If there is a character with 12k, up to one of your characters gains unblockable this turn. Let's go. 2k counter, given enabling. Yes, and for one, this is super good. This is a power creep. It used to be you had to pay 2 or 3 to give something unblockable. Now you only have to pay 1, and it's a Tony Chopper. Let's go. Yeah, the deck definitely needs something like this. A nice 2k counter, late game answer, have something punch through, and it's pretty cool. But I will say, one of the biggest disappointments so far, where's my monster point? Where is my monster point Tony Chopper? Why? Why am I still waiting for monster point Tony Chopper, guys? It's ridiculous. We have gotten almost every other form, and we've gotten guard point and maneuvers. We've got his strong stance and his antler mode and his fighter mode, and we've got even his like fantasy Chopper Man. But I still don't have monster point, or I won't say it. There's some spoilers. There may be spoilers. There's some theory spoilers out there, but I still want my monster point, guys. He's been in the show, like, he was in the, like, episode 300. We're in the thousands, and we still don't have, like, we've been all over. Thank you, Chainlow, for the message. All right. Green costs 8/8. Let's go here. We got a banish. Good. On play, rest up to one of your opponent's characters. Of course. Howling Gob. This is so good. This is so good. This already gives you some answers to dealing with a lot of the yellow slop out here. Very good stats all around here. On play, resting up one of your opponent's characters, so now you can lock it if you need to. There's probably going to be some restand stuff that we're going to see in the Shanks deck. So all around, really good stats. I can see people playing at least 2 copies of this in your deck. The banish is super needed nowadays. And it's interesting now that we're getting more and more green banish effects. But that is it for the card reveals. All right. So, do have a couple of things of news before we get into the gameplay. Wanted to start off here first and foremost, starting with last night. If you guys missed it, there was a drive to get the new Gundam card game first anniversary set. Yes, it sold out in a minute. There were some people that did get in and did get this within 15 minutes. I was trying to remind people to keep hitting refresh button, like I told you guys the last time we did this for the One Piece thing. A few people got in after the bots got cleared out, or some of the bots got cleared out. Bandai is doing what it can to get rid of some of the bots, but guys, it's almost like we're in a situation where unless Bandai goes to a situation where they do this print to demand situation, you're never gonna. There is no real great solution for them to do these. And when you do the print to demand, the value of these on resale goes down, which is fine. As a player, that's fine. As a player, that's absolutely fine. Resale value being back at the same price they originally bought this thing, sure. Great. Anyone who didn't get one can get one after a couple of years. Maybe these things go up in value. But it honestly, it is the only way. And with the wait times as they are, and I'm not going to get this till March, I don't understand, like, why is this still not print on demand? Why is this still not up? Like, I already have to wait. The big argument that Secret Lair used to throw out there was, oh, you'd have to wait a while for the printing. I'm already waiting a while. This is 6 months away. No, we got 5 plus, that's 8 February, March. Yes, that's 8 months away. 8 months for me to have to wait for this thing, for you to put in the order for how many of these things that need to be made for how many people. And there are a lot of people that want to play this game, and then you get a real baseline of who the actual players are. One of the ideas I thought would be kind of neat is if you did this for like a year, go print to demand. Then if you wanted to do this limited print run, you did the email thing they're doing now, but all the people that supported you on the print to demand, if you ordered during that time, you're on like this fast email where we're going to send it to those individuals that supported the game for that small period of time. It does isolate new players, which kind of sucks, but it's guys, we're stuck in a situation where want you guys to see my face here, because there's a lot of things happening with the way these get here and what you're fighting against. We're fighting against board members wanting to report good sales numbers, wanting to report success stories like this. This is going to look into the eyes of the Gundam Bandai board as a huge success. Selling out in under a minute is something they get to brag about. It's something they're probably going to get a bonus for. And it's stuff that they're literally capitalizing on the fact that there's this current market right now that we're dealing with so many of the different scalpers that are going through using bots to buy these things out. They're taking advantage of the fact that these bots are using this as a quick money rich scheme that they seem to be turning this into, which is the reality of what we live in right now. We've got a massive money push with not just the crypto bros that are pushing these prices up here and having these things at these massive values and using their big bucks to trade things, to put things and set them at their different values that is to its own detriment. I will be talking a little bit more about that on Wednesday. There's a video I found on YouTube that's talking about the current finances that I wanted to go with you guys and talk to you guys about my perspective over the finances of what's happening in the card game and what's causing these certain spikes that could be leading to that potential downfall, the bubble that we're all expecting to get. The bubble, I don't think, is going to be near as bad as everyone's predicting it to. Even in the video, this guy goes off on this tangent, but we're going to talk about that Wednesday. The point of what I'm trying to say here is you're working around these individuals. Chandler, I definitely going to talk about that in a minute. They're trying to sell a good product, have it sell out, have that, and go back to the board members and say, hey, the people wanted it so much that this was it. But the reality is the scalpers are what's driving these quick sales, because they're investing in those bots because they think they're going to get this massive payout, like $8,000 return, as we saw in some of the sales, which I don't think anybody actually buy. If you're out there, don't you dare spend $8,000 on this thing. It is not worth $8,000. It will not sit there, and I doubt it'll ever get up that high unless you sit on this for a decade and the game's still going, which I hope it is. I hope it still keeps going, but you would need this game to survive for 10 years and you'd be sitting on it for 10 years for it to ever reach that ridiculous price you're seeing online right now. That's just people seeing what they can gouge people for. But while that incentive is there and you have these people that think they're an entrepreneur by reselling something they literally just bought online that had a limited sale to it, it's disgusting, but it's a reality that we have right now because they're not printing enough of the product. They can't print enough of the product. They have to balance printing too much versus printing not enough, because if they print too much, there's no value in it, and it does drive away some players. I don't think it drives away the players that we care about, but it does drive away some players, and the fact that, oh, I'm losing the value in it. But it's like this balancing game. It's like they can't acknowledge that there's a other alternative market out there, because if they do, then there's legality issues with that. But at the same time, they know that that's what's driving and pushing people to get into this and causing these behaviors, so you can get these success stories that are on paper a success story. That is a success story. You sold out within minutes. Congratulations. You get to say that you got the newest, hottest thing on the market, but let's be real, you sold out in minutes because most of the people that really wanted the product couldn't even get into it, and the bots grabbed all the product and have now created this shorter sense of scarcity, which there is a scarcity here because you clearly limited it. There's no reason it was sold out in like a minute if you didn't have a scarcity limit on there. But you're creating the beast here. You have to recognize that there are these things out there. So if you want the scalpers to get out of our TCG, you're gonna have to make the pushes that Pokemon did during the early 2020s and those first part where they did print too much, which was a good thing because most people get the prices and the values went down. The scalpers end up moving away. Will this get the crypto bros out? I don't think so. I think there's weird dichotomy about these different layers of finances when it comes to this game. You've got the crypto bros that are trading these cards at high value, that are using these things similar to Bitcoin and similar to, and again, we'll go further into detail Wednesday, but they're using these things as kind of like this form of currency and keeping their money and showing stock exchange and growth, right? Those are the ones that are going to keep pushing money and making some of their hard card finds extremely expensive to keep those values up there so they can kind of like have that money in this valuable asset. that can be kind of manipulated in a lot of different ways. Then you have the scalpers. The scalpers are in the market for just quick turnaround. They want quick buck. These guys are literally the people that will, they lose 2-3%, or they take longer than 3 weeks to sell a product. I can't be in this game anymore, guys. I'm done. I can't afford to. Those are the problem children. The ones that buy up all the stock in a Walmart, or buy up all the stuff at your local game store, which your game store should not allow. We'll talk about that in a minute. But buy up all the product and create this idea of there's no product available, so you have to buy from me as a scalper. That's a lot different than the crypto bros. And then you have us as the players who just want the product, who want to pay what we can and we can afford, because let's be real, the real money that's being exchanged at store levels are your basics, SRs, your basic rares, your basic commons and uncommons if they happen to be selling those or grabbing them from a community box. All those things are moving within players at like our level, where we want to just play the game. We want to play the game, guys. We like to foil our deck when we can. We'll buy bits and pieces if it's in a price range, but there's a lot of things that you're not going to be able to get afford here. And Can't Stop Games says, as a player, I've been given up since OP13 getting product at a reasonable price. That's kind of a sad story, Can't Stop Games, and I'm really sorry to see that. If you could make your way out to Lifelink Games, we are driving the anti BS, and we're trying to do this with great success in our area. And I'm going to get into a tangent about that in just a minute. But if game stores would just unite underneath the strategy that we've been doing at Lifelink Games, players would be able to play the game. Crypto bros can do what crypto bros do, and we can kick out the scalpers that right now the card games are not willing to get rid of for some reason. And it's one of the things where we need to lean on our LGSs, and it's going to become more relevant when I show you guys this clip here. I want to talk about how disgusting it is for these stores that are not helping us band together to eliminate the problem that is the scalpers. There are ways in which we as a community can eliminate scalpers, as well as store owners, and as a community of gamers. We can get rid of these people. We can make them suffer for a little bit. If Bondi or the rest of them are not going to print enough to cause them to get scared and move the F on, there are things and actions that we can take, and I'm going to get to that in a minute. Chainlow says, take a look at round one promos, $200 for 10 packs selling for 2K. That is the other thing that's really disgusting me about some of these things. Round one thing, I'm going to go on my little 5-second rant here. I can't stand the prices of that stuff. That is absolutely disgusting. Congratulations, you had a round one near you. Good for you. That's great. You got a promo. Cost you $200. You got a mat. You got 10 cards and 10 packs. If you can complete the set, congratulations. You brought a friend and got in there. Cool. Limited print run. Cool. All those cards should be $20 maximum. Maybe the Luffy is a lower print, so that should be $50. Not $400 or $500. Not $2,000 for these cards. What are we doing? What are we doing? No one is out there spending $2K on round one bowling pin cards that are altards here. Maybe the crypto bros, maybe those guys are trading it up in the high level. But let's be real here. If you're out there and you got an option to spend $2,000 on these cards, don't. You are only rewarding this terrible behavior of these people taking advantage of these limited time promos and banking on it. The guys that go to the Dodgers game and pay $20 a card and sell them for $300-400 a piece. You're only rewarding these people in their bad behaviors. You need to band together to say, I'm not going to do it. If the crypto bros want to trade their money, let the crypto bros trade their money. They can't trade in things with a large market. They've got to trade with those red manga rares and stuff like that to get the big bucks. But those guys will trade at the very limited, very rare pieces. This stuff that was available to everybody for a simple $200 and now 2K in value, it's just gross. I'm proud of you if you're a player and you got access to it. Congratulations, but 2K, let's be real, guys. The cards aren't worth 2K. You're going to lose your money investing in that. You're going to lose your livelihood here. Not a lot of people, I mean, we're talking middle class and down can afford $2,000 for some cardboard. That's unrealistic. Who's buying it at that? Are these for the players or are they for the scalpers? Who are these things for? So let's get into this video, and I want to go more into what we can do as a community and what you stores and hopefully your LGSs will listen to, because as a store and a partner, not an owner, just someone who does advertising and helps get the name brand of Lifelink Games out there, we've been working together quite well within our community to make sure that MSRP remains a thing and the players get the product at the price that they can afford. Yeah. I know, Chainlow, the people do buy them. And I'm just, it's like, it gets down to, it's like, you've got to let like I said, I'm going to get into it here in a minute when we cover this video. Uchiha says no one is paying 2K for something that's paid $20 for. Sadly, Uchiha, there are the crypto bros, there are the people paying this money, and there are some people with FOMO. There are people that just fall for the FOMO. I just can't see them sitting there. The only cards I've been comfortable buying are over $2. Like, honestly, like, it can't stop gaming. You're right. Like, it's about buying the cards you need to play the game. Your secret rares, your alt arts, absolutely, absolutely. Those are fine. You can spend up to $20, get those cards. Up to $20, I get it, yeah. Like, those are fine. Anything that's getting well over the hundreds, if it's not a secret rare, if it's not a special art print, if it's not something that's 1 in 14 boxes or cases or whatever the numbers are, we ain't paying those prices. You gotta stop. I mean, most of us can't because we're limited by our funds, but if you do have the ability, don't feed it. Don't buy from the scalpers. It only takes a couple of weeks, and these scalpers get they have to sit with their credit cards, growing interest on their ridiculous purchases, and they got to get rid of it. They're going to get out of the game real quick. And let's talk about joining the stores here. All right, one of the things I want to show you guys, I came across this when I was doing some feed searching here. Infinite Collectibles in New York City. I find their content to be extremely fun. I think it's engaging as someone who works at a store and gets to see this stuff and sees these customer interactions. Some of these are very, very fun. And then you get into videos like this that are just insulting my intelligence. Make sure the audio's here. We're going to talk about this video.
The comment section was calling me a scalper and saying, you know, I need to sell at MSRP like this guy. So we did that. And here's what happened.
Hey boss, I got these ETBs I want to sell. What can you do for me?
Oh, I love these ETBs. These are great. We go based off of MSRP, so I'd be able to give you a percentage based off of MSRP. So we sell all our ETBs at $60, so I'd be willing to give you like $50 per on these.
$50? They go like 160 per.
Yeah. So, I remember when ETBs were 50-ish, same here, J-Lo. All right. Yes. Yes. You go to them and you say, hey, you want to sell these products for that price? This is what you get. They don't want to sell to you? Guess what? No one buys from them. No stores buy from them. You as a don't get there. You don't encourage the market. This person's stuck holding the bag with these products in their pack. They got the interest rates racking up their credit cards because they spent too much money on it. They're not able to flip a product. They don't have someone to dump it onto. They need stores like us to dump this on when they get stuck with those credit card debts. It's often what we find so often. People come into our store trying to drop too much because they bought too much product. They couldn't move it on Facebook Marketplace or something. And they're like, I need to sell this. I need to sell this. And we'll look at them as like, hey, we do MSRP. So you could get it at this price. Well, I lose money. That's not my fault. If you went out and bought out a shelf on credit card money to put yourself in debt because you thought you'd make a quick buck, that's not my fault. We sell at MSRP. You stick to that. It's like, you like buying from me at MSRP? You sell to me at MSRP. That's simple. You want to do this? That's cool. If it's 6 months old, 8 months old, it's something you had in your collection for a while, it kind of eliminates a lot of your scalpers out here. This is why I like that 6-8 month rule. That's what we do here, especially if the set's like 6-8 months old. Buying older product or something like that from a collector, that's perfectly reasonable. That person clearly had some value in it, might want to turn it in for some quick cash, might have a car problem, might have something coming up, whatever. That's fine. Do the market price, put them at that 60%, put that 60-70% on the market price for anything that's 6-7 months old. Stuff like this is brand new. This is black. This just came out. This prismatic, still in the 6 month range. The same thing with this Senate Heroes. All these things here within the 6 month mark. This guy's clearly sitting here saying, I need money quick. I need to flip this stuff quick. I got this somewhere cheap and tried to buy out the Pokemon Center. I tried to buy out the little Poke Drop that I chased down the wheel for, and now I need a quick buck turnaround. If you can stop the quick buck turnaround, stop feeding this market, you prevent the market from existing. But by buying it and paying those prices, and then of course, by the way, I don't know why you wouldn't resell at the 70% mark higher. Just I don't get it. Little Poundcake says, I feel like this dude makes the same TikTok every month. I've seen the duplicates. I know what you're talking about. It says, Pokemon usually stays at print for 2 years, usually not consistent, but that's how Pokemon window. Okay, so about two years. I'm thinking right now, like if you're trying to talk about, oh, I guess in print too, because it'd still be releasing it. Yeah, if it's still in print, that's a good correction. If it's still in print, something that just came out here, don't buy it. Don't. As a store, we actively look into it. We've turned away so many customers. I was just talking to Chris about this today. We had this new drop that came down over at what was it? Over at the Sam's Club. This huge drop came over at Sam's Club. We had 5 or 6 people come in with that product and said, "Hey, you want this?" We had the people go to the round 1 and ask us to buy that product from them. You think we bought that? Heck no. We're not turning. We turn them away. We're not your bank. We're not going to encourage you to do this behavior because we know that if we stop it in our way. Yes, can't stop notice. Yes, we had people going out there buying out the stuff from Sam's Club, coming into our store, immediately trying to flip it on us, and we said no, we're not buying it from you. You're like, really, it's going for this. Do your own work. I don't care. We're not buying it. And if they get out there, and there's enough of us out here that say, hey, that's too expensive for me, I'm not going to buy it. They're going to be stuck with the product, crying and pleading for us to take it off them at a loss, which is what they need. They need to take a loss. These people need to take a hit so they'll stop doing this, because once they start getting the credit card interest loans piling up and they get all the rest of the stuff, they're going to get out of the game. It's why these guys leave at like 2 or 3% loss in revenue on anything. That's not just auto money glitch for them. This behavior creates the continuation of scalpers. As a store, you have to recognize that. If we were the people to just grab to buy from those people that went over to Sam's Club and try to reflip it at whatever the distance is, we are just as bad, and we're enabling the existence of the scalper market. So you as a store have to recognize, if I want to beat the scalpers, I have to starve the scalpers. We continue.
But that's scalper pricing, and like, we're for the community. We don't really care about making money, and we sell our products at MSRP.
And what's MSRP?
Well, MSRP, aka retail price, is $60. So we'll give you $50.
Bro, are you fucking lowballing me right now? The guy at the block will give me $120.
Then sell it to him. Sell it to him. Why is he here? Why is he here? This guy's sitting here saying, oh, this other guy will do something. That's just a ploy in conversation. This guy is trying to get rid of, because he's saying this is a real event that's actually occurred. According to him, it's a real true story. A lot of projection here. This guy has another buyer. This guy has another buyer. Okay, cool. Go to that other buyer. See what that other buyer wants to get with your stuff here. Let that guy take your product. I'm sorry, just stop. You don't need this.
Easily, if he was blindfolded.
Well, he might be a scalper.
And the good news is, you starve these guys out. Guess what? You get these for $50, bud. You get these for $50.
MSRP bros. So we do it for the community, so we can't pay that. We're not lowballing. We're going based off of MSRP.
This is fucking disgusting. Not even 80%?
We actually did over 80% of MSRP.
Fuck this. I'm gonna go sell to the guy at the block. Fucking lowballer.
Yeah, well, good. He doesn't, by the way. He wouldn't be going to him if he needed him. Uchiha says, I hate this place this is the other place that will take from me, like, the gaslighting garbage out of the face. There's so much this idea that you have no control over those people, so you have to behave badly. I'm not a big fan of this. Because other people do bad stuff, I have to do bad stuff. You can't justify evil with evil. And I'm not saying that this is ultimately evil. There was an argument this guy could have made that I'm going to talk about in the end, that he really could have helped out his entire little story here. But this idea here that he had to have these ones, where he had to buy from this guy because otherwise he wouldn't get the product, is BS.
Yo, bro, I found this shop that's selling Pokemon for MSRP. Tell all the bros to pop out. Apparently it's for the community. Fuck the community. Hey, boss, I'm back to buy all your Pokemon product at MSRP.
Oh, wow, a customer came in and asked to buy all of my product? holy crap, I must have to just sell to him. I have no autonomy. I have no decision making. I don't have the capability to control myself and say, hey, it's a 1 per person or it's a 1 per customer, which is what we do at Lifelink Games. And I don't have the capability of making sure that we even cut the product if we don't even trust you as a seller. Because if you're not a player, you're not someone that shows up to the store regularly playing, and we don't know who you are, we cut it, guys. We cut the paper. We cut this stuff to make sure that you can't resell this stuff, to deter you from coming in here to buy from us, because we're not interested in selling all of our stock. And we definitely control who we sell massive quantities to. But I love that this guy comes in here and he's like, I want to buy all of your stuff. And he's sitting here as a seller saying, I have no free will. I must sell every product because he asked for. I'm here for the community. No, you're not. If you're here for the community, you say, cool, I'll give you one of these ETBs and one of these ETBs. What you want? Have a good day. The guy thinks he can flip him, whatever. I see that guy again, I'm not doing it anymore. If we see, like, we eliminate so many of our scalpers that come in our community. We've never seen you before. We don't see how this thing's going. We'll cut the wrapper immediately and sell it to you. And we'll be like, here's one. Here you go. Have fun. And like, well, we don't care. Our objective is not for you to resell it. Our objective is to give the product at affordable pricing for the people who play the game. Because the players, at the end of the day, when the bubble does happen, are going to be the only people left. We got so many of these videos over here, market crash incoming. I might watch this after this a little bit just to see what he has to say. But there are a lot of us on the understanding that the bubble's about to burst. We're about to see the burst. And it's good news for us players. Great news. It's going to be bad news for the scalpers, which is fine with me. But you got stores like this that are scalping prices and throwing this out here and justifying scalping prices because, oh, well, scalpers will just sell my product from me. Don't sell to them. There are means and ways to do that. Or if you do sell to them, selling one box to them, one ETB, isn't going to hurt the rest of the community, while the rest of the community gets rewarded for the fact that they get an affordable product. The fact that some of these are still sitting here shows me he's selling them too high. Little Punky says, the night or the 30th anniversary Pokemon. Oh, gosh. Yeah, I'm not really looking forward to 30th anniversary. That stuff's going to be insane. But what if I resell my seal to afford to pay for events? I mean, as long as your sealed is with the market price for market price, that's fine. If you're selling your product for something to help get your events in here, and it's market MSRP to MSRP, sorry, not market to market, MSRP to MSRP, yeah, I mean, I've done that. I've taken quite a big losses sometimes on selling my product just so I could afford to pay for some events that were coming up and afford some trips to go out. I can't tell you how many times I've taken boxes of Magic the Gathering and just said, hey, I'd like to trade this in, and it's at a loss from what I paid for it, but it helped, that money helped me pay for events and helped me get into things, so I was super excited for that. It's nice, like, I'm just gonna scalp. Okay.
Sure, we love the community. What can I get for you?
Everything.
You sure you're not a reseller?
Nope, long-time collector. I even brought on my family.
Sounds legit to me. I'll ring you up right now for everything.
I love you so much. Thank you for the store, for the community.
Hey Omar, I got a question. Oh shit!
What happened, bro?
What happened to all the product?
I sold it all for MSRP. Isn't it great?
But now we have no product.
I know.
It's almost like there are decisions you could make to have products still. I'm sorry, when I mean to resell, I mean scalp. Okay. No scalping. Scalper, no scalping, little pound cake. Guys, if the stores game together, similar to what Target's doing, the buy 2 packs thing, it's fine. Buy 2 packs. You go to Target, they're trying to do this buy 2 packs thing. Sure. It sucks as a player, like, I feel like I'm not getting much out of 2 packs, but I'm happy to get the product. I'm happy to be able to afford the product. When things get low for us, we sell just to the kids. There's Pokemon packs that we have on the shelf that literally say just for kids, and only the kids can have it, and they can only get 2. And that way we keep the product on the shelf so the customers come in, they have something. We also put, get this, prize support aside. So when people come out and play our games, we can give away those cards as prize support. So when they come in, they pay $5, maybe $10 for an entry, walk away with 1, maybe 2 packs for playing, guaranteed. Those people are getting the product, they're getting to play the game, and those are the people that are going to keep your store running. Because I'm telling you guys right now, everyone's talking about the big boom and the big thing, and I'm with it. I think that some of the prices are way too high. If anything, when we're talking about the round one stuff, that's way too high. It's ridiculous. It's going to create this idea where you're inflating things that do not have that value in return, and enough people are going to get in there, and you're going to have these whales that are going to get burnt, and they're going to feel bad about it, and they're going to leave the game, and when the whales leave, no one left to buy the scalper price boxes. When you wait out the whales, you let those people feel like they're failing. They feel like they got nothing left here. They're sitting there in credit card debts that they can't even fathom of getting out of under. They go away. And the big boom's coming. It's going to crash. I don't know when, but I think it's coming soon. Because I feel like right now we are definitely in a market where the things are super inflated to the point where they're unaffordable to the average player. And that's honestly the measurement that you should be looking at. The average player is the person that keeps the game interesting, good. They keep moving the product around. They're the traders, the sellers. They're the people moving the goods to the other people to help people play the game, help them build their collection, help them build whatever they're doing. Those are the people that are gonna, like the players like you guys that watch me do these coverages. They're the ones that keep this economy moving. When it's outside of their price range, there's either two things happen. There's like several things that I want to go in full detail on Wednesday, but it's either getting that your crypto bros are hiding money and some cardboard. You got maybe some other malfeasance going on, or you're going to get to the point where people are going to say, I'm sorry, it's just not worth it. And when that happens and the decision is made, the bubble pops. Simple as that, guys. I don't think it's going to be that much of a nightmare for the rest of us players. I think this is going to be good news when it happens, to be honest with you. I feel like a lot of people are going to feel pretty bad in the beginning where the collection kind of gets devalued out of nowhere. You might have like one of those apps that kind of registers your current investment in the cards, and they're going to see a huge tank. It's okay. Guys, it'll come back. If you're a true player, if you're a true person and loves the game and loves this thing, hang on to it. It'll come back up. It'll come back up to reasonable prices that people can actually afford. Things where people can actually afford to exchange for goods and services like this. Because at the end of the day, even when the bubble pops, we still have this. The difference between other things that have happened in the economy when it comes to bubble popping, people lost their funds. They lost their entire investment portfolios. They lost their retirement plans. They lost their homes. They lost tons of property. When those things happened, people lost stuff, and it was bad. It was sad, it was disgusting, and it was just one of those things that we just wish you weren't part of it. But when it comes to these, they can't take the card away from you. The bubble may pop, and the value of these things might drop. But as a person who's been playing these things for as long as I have been, it'll go back up. You just gotta wait for it to get back up there. Because you still have the product at the end of the day. And so long as you're using this to play the game, to have fun, to enjoy yourself, to join a community, to get out there and play with your friends and socialize and get the all-important interaction with people-to-people stuff, you're winning. You're winning. So we'll see it. But if you're out there, I implore you, as a store owner, don't do that. It's clearly projection. You're clearly trying to justify your high pricing. You literally could have said, I'm in New York City. I have outrageous taxes. I have unbelievable amount of money that I have to pay for regulations that are out of control. I can't afford to operate my business at a certain level of price, so I have to jack the price up a little bit. And most people would look at you and go, that's respectable. But what you said was, I have to scalp price. I have to market value because market value exists. And all you're doing is making sure your only customer base are scalpers. And when the bubble bursts, you'll be the first to go under. Because the customers won't have any of it. You weren't there for them when it was good. Mob payments, yeah, I guess that's one of the things you could do for it. But that's the ultimate reality, guys. If you're not there for the players, if you're not willing to support the people that actually keep your store running, keep the lights on, keep buying the singles, keep buying the sodas or whatever else you happen to be selling there, if you don't have those people, you're not catering to those people, your business will fail when the bubble pops, and you're going to be left hand in the bag, wondering, well, I made a quick buck during the boom of market. Now what? You don't have a continued business, bud. So get online, join us, put the stuff back at MSRP. Don't buy from scalpers. Don't encourage the behavior. Let the product be out there. Don't buy it unless the product's been out there for a significant amount of time where you can tell the difference. And if you know that a person is a regular at your store, sure. But if they're not, and they're not part of the community, don't bother. Don't encourage it. Don't enable it. Don't. There you go. Right, guys, we got 3 rounds of content coming up. We're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, we got our first round here. Oh, I already forgot who it was. Who are we dealing with? Round 1, Havington on Monkey D. Luffy, blue-green, and Lithium on Sanji, blue-purple. So we got ourselves a really fun match. We got 3 rounds, and of course, 2 packs to give away at the end of the stream. Stay tuned for that. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Humble Pie. I'm your host, Jimmy D, and here it is. It's time for the gameplay. That's what we're all here for. It's the stuff we get to watch all of our amazing players get to play from last Saturday and showcase their amazing new decks as they perform and play for those awesome promos that we give away every single week. Not to mention good promos, but we also give away great packs. One of the things that just came down, I don't know if you guys saw, there was a huge shipment of the OP13 and some of the heroin stuff that got passed out to everybody, and some of the stores got like a little bit of allocation, kind of recovering from the fact that we had that truck stolen and all the supplies were taken out. So we got a mini reprint, if you will, of those sets, and they got pushed out to all the stores. One of the things that we did at Lifelink Games, because we didn't get enough to be able to sell to the players, and we didn't want to have the issue of dealing with all the nonsensical scalpers and whatnot, we've turned it into prize support. So if you want to get your opportunity to try some of that awesome prize support, get on that OP13, those anniversary sets, chase that manga rare, if you will, or chase the heroine for those gold dawn and those amazing SPs that were coming out from that set. Good opportunity for you to come out and play and get a chance to win some of the free packs that we give away at the end of all of our competitions. We've got so many events at Lifelink Games, isn't crazy for One Piece. On Tuesday, which I'm going to be going to tomorrow and participating in, hoping to go 3-0 to get those coveted packs. We'll see. We of course have every Tuesday at 6:30 your basic play. At 1 o'clock, we have your what is it? We're doing the what is it, the retro stuff here, the Pirates Party stuff at 1 o'clock on Saturdays, and of course in the evening is your regular standard play at 6:30. Also note, this Friday is when we're going to be having the starter deck promo stuff, so everyone can be able to buy a starter, play with said starter, put it in the competition. Winners get some amazing promos. Everyone who participates and plays in it gets some awesome promos, amazing things to come. And of course, when we do the release of this upcoming set, we're going to have a massive amount of really cool events for you guys to see. Stuff I'm super excited to showcase. We have that box tournament that we always do, where everyone can open up a box and play with cards from said box, build a 60 card deck, and compete for some of those awesome promos. We have all the release event stuff where we're going to be the way that we're doing our format is going to be sealed all the way. So if you're going to be sealed, play the sealed. Good luck in your packs, build some decks, get those awesome promos for participation. You get those 2 Dawn that are really awesome, the Monkey Luffy and the Zoro card. Dawn cards look absolutely awesome. They're gonna be some great value and something you're gonna want to get involved with. So definitely gonna want to check out those that tournament. And of course, we're gonna be giving away prize cards for every single event we hold. There'll be approximately 3 release events, not including the box tournament, because you have the Friday release event, we're gonna have the Saturday release event, then we're gonna have the Sunday release event for all those people to play for those awesome coveted prize cards, because the promo on this one is definitely going to be going up for some massive money. This being anniversary, those anniversary stamp cards are going to be something you're going to want to chase after, because trust me, as someone who's looked at those cards, those things are a nice turn on investment. You get these really cool stamp promos, you get a character someone recognizes or collects, it can go for easily 10-15 bucks. Very affordable for us players, and really nice to add to your deck, so you can have like a fancier version of said card for the deck to kind of bling it out in your favor. Super excited to see what those promos look like in person, and cannot wait to play with them myself. But we got some amazing decks, some amazing players, and some amazing gameplay coming your way. First up, Blue Purple Sanji versus Blue Green Monkey D. Luffy. I love this. Lithium's been on this deck for a long time. We're going to go over the deck list, tell you guys how these decks play, showcase all this, and realize that post this week everything's going to change, because these starter decks are definitely going to be making a lot of changes to our meta, and you guys know it. Let's get into the deck list. All right, starting off with the Blue Purple Sanji from Lithium here. This one, for those that haven't seen it, this is kind of a blast from the past here from OP12. We're already up to OP17, so about 5 sets ago. But it is block 3, so it'll be here for quite a while. We've got the event-centric type deck with Sanji here. This one, Dawn -1, activate up to one of your Straw type event cards with a base 3 or less from your hand. You do that once per turn. Dawn -, really easy to control the Dawn in your situation. Get yourself a free card, essentially, because this is, you can activate one of your straw hats. Just want to make sure 3 or less. Yeah, Dawn -1, so you can actually cast a card, return one of the exhausted cards, and get a free spell on top of it. And there are some really cool free spells we're going to talk about. Additionally, when attacking, if the number of Dawn cards in the field is equal or less than the number of Dawn cards in the field, add to 1 Dawn free Dawn deck and rest it. One of the things that really kind of pushed this deck aside for a while there was spin the Enel. That restriction of 6 Dawn to the deck made this thing a little miserable in a matchup against Enel, especially with the anti-removal. But as time has grown, we've seen less and less people playing Enel. We definitely know the power creep is coming up with these new decks, so there is a good chance that decks like Sanji here might actually be something viable going into the future formats, especially with some of the upgrades. We get Otama, which is your baseline searcher for this deck. If you have 3 or less life, draw 2 cards and trash 1 card. Something you can easily do by taking that first hit that most people always do. We've got the Sanji, which is a namesake for the deck. This thing gains power for every 5 events in the deck. So every 5 events, this thing is going to have some massive, massive strength on its swings. And if this character would be removed from the field by your opponent's effect, you may return 1 Dawn for your Dawn deck instead. And that's not once per turn. That's every single time you try to remove this thing from the field by an opponent's effect. It can protect itself. So 3 or less, doesn't matter. So long as they're trying to remove it by anything other than battle, it's not going to happen. Sorry. You're going to have Vinsmoke Rage You here. If you have 4 more event cards in your trash, this character gains plus 2,000 power and plus 5 cost. So you get a nice little 9 cost. Gets around all those cost reducers and resters, along with the power reducers here, because this is buffing this thing up into a nice little 7k that can be a swing or a blocker, your choice. Of course, this is going to creep into every blue deck. I guarantee it. There's a reason why it's probably the most valuable SR from the newest set from OP16. Be able to trash this card, draw 2 cards, and freeze one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 9 or less. Super, super, super relevant. It's absolutely a game changer and something we've been seeing play in anything that can have the room for blue. You don't need this energy when you got a card like this. It's just so good. A card you get, it replaces itself and then some. And on top of that, freezing, which is the only thing that can't seem to be countered in today's meta. Vinsmoke Raise You, your turn on play, down to -1. If your leader is Sanji, activate a main effect of one of your event cards with a cost of 7 or less from your trash. So you get some extra utility for some of these amazing cards. And mind you, it is 7 or less. So utilizing cards like the best 2-for-1 in the game right now, Gravity Blade, Raging Tiger, is a valid target. And this 2-for-1 right now is absolutely disgusting in today's meta, especially if you can somehow turn off certain things. But like the L6 cost, if you will. But it's still a lot of the great blockers, a lot of your mid-game threats and the stuff that you really don't want to have your opponent deal with, and those anti-KO capabilities. Like, you got things they say on KO do this thing. No, it doesn't happen when you bottom deck it. So it gets around quite a bit of those awesome effects that you're really concerned about in your opponent's mid-game. And it being a 2-for-1 removal like this, honestly, it's been a tempo swing that can often make or break games. I've seen this literally win games on its own just because it made such a huge tempo swing in the favor of the player that played it. Lonely, good to see you. And thank you for the text on YouTube as well. Sanji blocker, this one of course needing less Dawn for it to be cheaper, but if you do, you got yourself a nice little 3-cost 6k blocker type character, which something this deck can do quite a bit. I like this one. It's a Dawn -2, you get to draw a card. This is being seen a lot of play in most purple decks, mostly because it's a card that replaces itself. And in the late game, the Dawn -2 really doesn't matter. It really just, it's cards you're going to get back anyways with all the ramp that you play. So not the biggest of downsides here for the draw card, but the counter here, up to one of your characters gains plus 1,000 power, and if you have 6 or less Dawn, draw a card. So a card, especially in the early games, which is why most people play this, is a really good early game counter. People swing like 5 into 5, and you're like, okay, cool, here's 6. Cost you nothing. Get card instantaneously replaces itself. If you're in the early stages of the game, it's super good. Very valuable in this game. We have the I Heard the Sound of a Lady's Teardrops Falling. If your leader is Sanji and look at the top 3 cards of your deck, reveal it to 1 Sanji or event card, add it to your hand, trash the rest. Trash the rest, which is important. Something you don't often see in blue. And of course, it's got a counter for the plus 4K, which is super good. One of the things that really scared me about this deck was how many of the plus 4K counters you got, like the Concussor over here that gives you the plus 4K with if you have 4 more events. Plus 4K is nothing to shake at, and it's simple to do with 1 Dawn. It's why people saw this thing as a threat, but this one's even more of a threat because it also has a chance of cycling out 2 cards and drawing 2 cards that can help you counter out when necessary. It is down -2, so you don't want to do this in the early stages, but it's still a very, very good late game counter. And trust me, when you get your leader up to like 9K, I mean, that's most swings. That's most swings with allocated Dawn. We got Let's Crash This Wedding main. If your leader is a multicolored, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal to 1 Straw Hat type card. Other than Let's Crash the Wedding, add it to your hand, then place the rest in the bottom of your deck. So, nice little 1-cost searcher. Got yourself a way to get to the Sanji, which is the whole point of the deck, is to get to that Sanji. You got Luffy's The Man Will Become King of the Pirates on main. If your leader is Sanji, you get to look at the top 3 cards of your deck, reveal add to 1 card to your hand, then place the rest at the bottom of the deck in any order. This one's really good, considering it literally just says any card altogether, which is arguably one of the better searchers in the game. out there. Then you got Gamma Knife Don -1. Give it to one of your opponent's characters minus 5,000 power during this turn. Really good answer for having Sanji be able to swing into something, kind of reducing one of the bigger threats that you're worried about. Maybe that unblockable card that you don't want swinging on you next turn. Having a way to just minus that attack and swing into it with that god-sized Sanji that you probably have is probably one of the best options for the game, and really good in the late game. And something you can activate for free with using the Sanji ability too. You have this 3 cost of your leader Sanji, and you have 4 more Dawn cards on the field. Play up to 1 Sanji with 6,000 power or less from your trash, hand or trash. Most of the time, probably going to get from here. But if you had to use the Sanji swing early, they had some way to get rid of it by battle. Sure, I'll get it back. As simple as that. And the Sanji brings it right back. We got both burst. If your leader is multicolored, choose 1. Return it to 1 card to the character's cost of 4 less to your owner's hand. And if you have 6 or less cards in hand, draw 2 cards. Most of the time, let's be realistic, this is used for the draw card, but still a very, very good card to get rid of some of the threats in the early game if you need to keep the tempo and need to starve some time for the Sanji to start getting some massive swings in. But that is your blue-purple Luffy now going up against what is arguably one of the most chaotic versions of this deck I've seen to date. Kind of interesting here from Hampton. This is Monkey Luffy blue-green. This is the Weenie Rush that we were talking about when we we're doing card reveals and telling everybody that there's so much hate coming out against this deck. It's a deck for Weenie Rush, guys. That's really what this deck's trying to do. Put a bunch of weenies that replace themselves, swing with these cards, these annoying little weenies, and put your opponent down to 0 as quick as possible, and if necessary, play an event that'll win the game here. Now, this card automatically off the out the gate gets the activated ability, but if the only characters on your field are Impel Down type characters, set up to 2 of your Dawn cards is active. Activate main once per turn. Just constantly, already at the early stages, if for any reasons you have 2 1-drops, you can immediately start playing 2 1-drops on turn 1, which is already kind of scary if you really think about it. You can activate this on turn 2 or 3, get some extra maneuver and some extra play cards. And I mean, all the time, just restanding that 1-2, sometimes is all you need to get some extra swings and allocate the Dawn for these weenies to get some powerful swings in. Like, you got the Searcher here for the Luffy that can also be a 5k swing so long as you have 5 different characters or more. 6 with the Dawn, of course. You got this Bonclay, which is really disgusting. It's probably the most disgusting of them all. Dawn ×1 when attacking this character's base power becomes the same as your opponent's leader's power during this turn. Nope, the way that this is read, this base power gets changed to whatever the power is. Not the leader's base power, at the leader's power. So if there's an effect on the field that pumps your leader up by 2k, now this thing is that plus 2k. So not only does this card on play replace itself, you have this constant threat where it doesn't matter what you do to your leader, this thing's going to be swinging over with an easy 2 allocation Dawn. And why I call this the biggest threat is honestly because of that. It's just absolutely terrifying. Now, mind you, on the backswing, very vulnerable, but when you have to worry about this thing coming in and attacking next turn and can attack for value, given it doesn't need much Dawn allocation, you really should be fearful of this card, especially the cards that enable unblockable for it too, if they're playing it. Mr. 1 Daz Bones, Dawn ×1 on your turn. If you have 5 or more cards in your hand, characters gain plus 3,000 power. So a nice little weenie, again, that replaces itself for an easy play here and becomes a nice little 6k swing. So early game swings here. Galdino, this one actually has some late game implication. You don't want to be careful with this one. It's really good 2k, but definitely does some gangbusters when you're trying to get some Dawn allocation towards the last bit of swings, which is going to be important when we get to the event I was talking about. Activate main, you may rest this character, get up to 2 of your characters with 6,000 base power, up to 2 rested Dawn cards each. So you're handing out already 4 Dawn by resting this character. Emporia Vonkov is a nice little searcher and a body adder to get some more of those bodies out in the field. Very, very strong card. I love this one, especially more than the other Vonkov, because you used to have to play the card, but now you can add a card and play something else if you want to, which is super strong. You have Galdino, because we keep talking about this card. It's too good. Really, really too good. Crocodile. Blocker on play, you may return one of your characters with a cost of 2 or more to your owner's hand, and then play up to 1 Impel Down type character with a cost 2 or less from your hand. So you can return any character, protect it, even replay it if you want to, but you can basically make sure that this Bonclay doesn't have to get attacked, and it has blocker 2 to protect it as well. This Bonclay is seriously one of the biggest threats. Monkey Luffy here. On play, you may rest one of your Dawn cards. This character gains rush, and when attacking, rest up to one of your opponent's blocker type characters. So a nice little mid-game and late game ender that gets rid of if your opponent only has one blocker up for the defense here. This Miss Olive here, which we see in and out of decks here, a blocker on play. You may return one of your characters at the cost of 2 or more to its owner's hand, draw 2 cards, and trash 1 card from your hand. Again, another really cool mid-game card that helps you protect this Bonclay that already replaces itself. Now, one of the things I want you guys to look at is the variance of how many events these things are, the amount of one-ofs that you see in here. It does, to me, feel a little bit strange with a lot of these one-ofs, but the way that I see that they're playing this deck replaces it. Does so many different effects which just keep drawing through the deck, constantly replaying cards to draw through the deck, that you really only need 1 or 2 copies of certain cards to end it. And obviously this Brook's going to be an immediate extra attacker, so you can get the ability of Monkey D. Luffy at certain times, but you get rid of that Brook, and then you get this guy out here. Rest 6 of your down cards if you have 5 Impel Down type characters with different names. Set your leader and all your characters as active. This is where this Galdino comes in handy. That's where for some extra rest at dawn, for some extra swings, especially after you've played some characters, getting the restands. This thing will kill you out of nowhere, and it's really a decent 1K counter, but let's be real, you only need this once. You only need to activate this one time. When you do, it's probably lights out. We got Buggy, of course, that combos with the Prisoners of Impel Down and turns them into blockers on your opponent's swing. Good little 2Ks and 6K bodies that you can have as many in the deck as you want to. You got the unblockable Boa, which by far I think this needs to be 2 or 3 in the deck because this card's just so good. On play up to one of your opponent's characters other than Monkey D. Luffy cannot be rested until the end of your opponent's next end phase. So no blocker, which is already unblockable, but also no attack next turn from whatever threat that they may throw at you. And the fact that they have this looming threat of this unblockable menace here that is Boa, and giving it 2 attacks, absolutely disgusting. We also have Dead Man's Game here that works as a pseudo Hody Jones. You got one of the best green cards to print to date. All of your opponent's characters that cost 7 or less will not become active during your opponent's refresh phase. Super good. This will usually be a turn ending turn, or just something that can stall for an extra turn if you need to, if you feel like you're getting overwhelmed by your opponent. And ever since I saw this card's printing, I thought it was good. Of course, you got the 0 cost that allows for you to discard for 3K, and you have the 1 cost Gum Gum Champion Rifle. Counter if your leader has the Impel Down type, and your leader character gains plus 2,000 power during this battle. Then your opponent returns up to one of their characters to their owner's hand. So really good counter card that returns one other active character to its opponent's hand. Like you got to be careful swinging into this thing and the way that you play things, because you can really screw up your opponent's turn by turning one of the threats back to their hand. I like this removal. I think I'm kind of surprised this isn't at 4, honestly, but if people start seeing it enough times, maybe they'll learn to swing against it. Very, very good deck. It is one of the top contenders for one of the best decks in our current format, and just gets a little bit stronger after the deck's released. Probably gets phased out at OP17 if my bets are correct based on how these decks are constructing themselves. Get it in while you can, because I don't think this will be tier 1 for so long, but may be wrong because it's just paper. Let's get into it. We got Havington and Lithium going head to head. Let me know at home which one of these players you think is going to be winning this match. Bruhane, good to see you again. Thank you so much for the comment. Can't Stop Game says my emo can take both of those leaders. Oh, I bet you they can, actually. No, emo was a great answer against Sanji. And it's funny, I've seen emo kind of crossed out because of Nell kind of like pushed it out of its meta and kind of made it irrelevant. But emu's still a threatening deck sometimes. You guys got to be careful with that deck. And could be another answer coming back from the new sets if you guys aren't careful. There's one of the things that I find constant comments from people where they're telling me now, like, oh, they don't like their deck's getting power tiered out. I don't think your deck necessarily got power tiered out. It just needs some adjustment. It needs to look at what's happening in the meta. We've seen a lot of older decks come back out of nowhere, no matter how much the Bondi developers want to have the new stuff be the only stuff. It's not the case. Well, in the beginning, that is the case because everyone's testing the new stuff. It doesn't mean that's always going to be the case. And if your deck has clear answers to it, like Kobe in certain formats, or what was it? We had a surprise visit with Bello Betty capitalized in certain events and certain metas. When you have certain things like that you can bring back from the past to exploit the weaknesses that you're seeing from these decks, your deck's not dead, guys. It just needs to be tweaked. And Can't Stop says St. Rosword helps with P&L. It does. It does. I think it just, a lot of people just didn't like the matchup because it felt like an auto fold, and that's why people just got off the Emu. There's enough decks that realize if you got underneath Emu, you could beat it. It's all about getting underneath it. But your deck has to be able to do that too. All right, swinging to Havington. Look and see if we get some counter out of Havington here. Already a good start here. Looks like Havington looking for maybe a way to bounce this back, but he does have the ability to return a Dawn if he does try to return it. So Lithium probably explaining to him that even if he uses that event to 2k counter out, he won't be able to return that Sanji. Now, mind you, it will kind of turn him down on one Dawn, but let's be real, this deck wants to be a low Dawn. And it looks like that might be the case here, so Lithium going to be with the choice. Yep. Now having to look at, he's going to have to Dawn minus to get that thing back to stay on the field here, which I'm sure he'll do. Yep, there was a return. And Can't Stop Games, don't think I'm poo-pooing on your deck. I actually think Anel's a very strong deck. I think it's definitely something to be respected. I just think that when it came out, there was a lot of the top players kind of abandoned the deck when they felt like they just didn't have this very fun matchup against some of the newer decks. You can tweak the deck. You can tweak it to make it work in your favor. And one of the things that I'd like about those decks too is like sometimes they're just sleeper good hits. All right, 6k swing, 2k counter from Lithium. Monkey Luffy likely not going to see any swings here as it doesn't give much of a bonus here. So we'll see maybe a leader swing and maybe we'll see a Vonkov come out here on this turn, get another character out. Could also see a Crocodile that could bounce this thing back up and protect the Bonclay. Nope, we're going to get a massive swing, 8k into life. Lithium on the take. Now Atama's alive. Most of the other cards he needs are alive here at 3 life. Back to his turn. Can't Stop Games says, nah, you're good. I ulted my Emu with the prices. I've been on him since. I don't blame you. I really don't blame you. And good on you for alting that deck. That's a hard one. Oh, did you get any of the cards, curious, from the God pack out there to alt that out? Because not that I want to encourage you to spend those ungodly amount of prices for those cards. Those do look really sweet. The God pack versions of it with the silver linings on the numbers. All right, gonna start off with a nice little search. Bidding him. Getting up. Looks like we're getting closer and closer. Lithium going to pile up the software to find out how many events are in trash. Still 3. Needs 2 more to get the first plus K bonus from the Sanji. I mean, he's probably not going to want to keep that vulnerable here. Leader attack into Bonclay, I think, is the right choice here. And I do like this Galdino's going to be able to get a swing and potentially extra value next turn. Something you don't see too often. I like this Galdino because it does have the value of going in for a swing, sacking it, freezing, and I'm drawing 2 cards to replace it, which is pretty good. Can't Stop Guess says, gosh, no, I don't have, I have the regular altards. Okay, I don't blame you. It's okay. I know it's expensive. I'm with you. Trust me. I've only seen them because Lithium, believe it or not, here, pulled the God Pack. Got 1 copy of each one on stream when he played a box tournament at Lifelink Games. And I think he's already sold them, to be honest with you. Those prices were insane. All right, Buggy and Bonclay number 2 being played here. This Buggy is going to be able to make sure those Impel Downs are a nice little blocker, so likely not going to see too much activation here. But we are seeing some nice 1k counter rebuttals from the swings here using those 0 costs from Lithium. Showcasing how strong those cards really are. A simple 5 in a life, fine. I'm going to replace it. The card replaces itself. But now that we have 5 in life here, Sanji has 6k. And that doesn't go away. Without some other card manipulation, of course. So maybe we'll see a swing in here now that we get some value. I mean, a lot of the Dawns in the early turns for Lithium are obviously going to be kind of like event strategies, kind of making sure he's got the right hand, trying to get as many copies of the Sanji out as possible. Does have the capability of freezing the Buggy next turn. Which is not a bad option. Sadly, does need to get this Bonclay to swing so he has some way to get rid of this thing. But here comes a swing. Bonclay going to get in for a swing for 6, looking for 2k from Havden. We'll see if he has it. He does with one of the prisoners. Immediately sacks it. Going to be freezing something. What's the target here? Target is Buggy, just as we predicted. Buggy off the attack, and I like this because it taking down Buggy also freezes the Prisoners of Impel down for next turn, so limits the amount of swings you're gonna have to defend next turn. Always good. Want to make sure your opponent doesn't have too many effective swings here, and hopefully Lithium will be able to deal with some of this board state. One of the scariest things you can do is give them a turn where they can put out 5 bodies of different names. Definitely don't want to have a late game swinging massive lethal with this blue-green Luffy here. But as we saw from the deck list, he's got to have it. He's only got 1 copy. So while he is drawing quite a few cards, he's getting through his deck a bit. He's still got to have it. And it's just a 1 of 1. See Lithium looking through, see what he wants to activate here. Probably needs some more draw cards. You having a good day? All right, going to be looking for that Sanji from hand here. Nice little 6K blocker. Obviously better off in the trash here, but pulling from trash, that'll do. 5 Dawn left here. Lithium has done a number on trying to foil this deck out and alt this deck out, which I don't blame him. It's a passion project of his. This deck has taken him to many, many wins on a locals event here. 7 to life here, looking for the attack. We'll see if we get a block. Blocking a 2K maybe. Because while Buggy may be frozen, it can still activate the ability, and that's what we're seeing. Looks like we are going to activate, turn it into a blocker. Do we get the 2K? We do with that Bonclay. Now, massive 8K swing into the blocker, trying to get the thing off the board. Good call. Trying to get these things, honestly, when you're playing against this deck, if you can't push for lethal, you got to get the pieces off the board. And Lithium going to be looking for a turn where he can possibly activate one of those gravity blades too, given having it doesn't have any protection out just yet. Now I believe that was a really long turn here. I kind of phasing whether the Galdino's freeze effect is still in effect here, but massive swing here coming from Bonclay. We'll see if we get an instant take or maybe even a Concaster or some kind of 4K counter. We do have 1 open. Lithium checking with his opponent to see if it's going for the Sanji leader or Sanji character. Looks like we're resting, so we're going to probably get one of those 4K counters. Debating on it. Returning 2. Is this a Gum Gum Giant here? It is. Gum Gum Giant, the counter here. Gonna discard one of the... Oh, interesting. That is an interesting play here. Hopefully he has a second copy of it. Either that or he just feels he's too far behind and he's never gonna get to 7 Dawn. But Gravity Blade's a great answer for the lethality of this deck. I don't know if I'd sacrifice such a valuable piece so early. Monkey D. Luffy, Rusher out in action here. This one's going to be immediately able to rest the Sanji here. So on swing, yep, going to go in for the attack here. Does have to attack. It does have the rush if you... It didn't look like he did rest it there. Sanji says, forgetting about the raise you to play Gravity Blade. Oh, that's true. Sai, I'm sorry. Very good point. Yep, can play it from the yard. Very true. My bad. We'll see if Lithium has it. Great commentary. Thank you for that, Sai. Appreciate it. So going in for 6. Still looking for a 2K counter from Lithium, or he's going to have to take life here. Sai says the average scalper. Just the average scalper over here. Yes, I could definitely count on a scalper giving me play-by-play advice here. All right, looks like a 7K swing. Here's 2K to protect the Sanji. But that one's sadly going to hit the bin. So I guess the 2K was to counter out of the other leader swing here. Or just, maybe he didn't 2K. I guess he thought against it. There's the Ragey we were just talking about. All right, do we have an answer here? Here comes the Gravity Blade. Yes, 2 of the threats gone. Well, yeah, if you do have some swings in the Bonkley, that's true. You can swing in the Bonkley. Keeping Havington from having a full board is a great answer here. Leader going into it. Yes. Answering the board. All right. And Lithium doing what he does best, keeping this board as clear as possible to make it safe to start swinging in and poking at the opponent. Was going down a bit on board state here. Excellent. Using the Sanji ability to free play the Sanji back from trash using the event. We have ourselves a nice little free 6K swing. Looking for 2K from Havington. Every card in our hand is going to be sacrificing the cards he can replay. But a lot of threats here have been eliminated from Havington. Like I said, guys, that Gravity Blade is absolutely devastating against this deck. Was Havington really trying to get up to as many small bodies as possible here, and now it's been completely reduced to this one Luffy that, honestly, with one Dawn, is just a 2K attacker. We'll see what Havington wants to do for his turn. Definitely needs to start getting more characters out if he wants to actually win this game. And he's going to have a tough time at it, given he's got 2 blockers he's got to get through here. Or one of them, sorry, this isn't a blocker ratio. But 1 blocker here he's got to get through. 1 open Dawn, so some kind of Concaster or 4K likely in hand here for Lithium. So, not looking good. Even though the life is looking pretty much in Havington's favor, the board state says otherwise. We'll see what he does with his turn. All right, gonna rest the blockers, it looks like. Or a blocker in the... Yep, rest a blocker in the open Dawn here. I guess Havington going for the offensive here. Might have another copy of that Monkey D. Luffy for for attack here. To get in for 2 swings. Let's hope he didn't waste that. Here comes the first big swing. Going for, it looks like 7. 2 2Ks from hand here for Lithium. 2 and a 1 possibly. Can't tell from the cards he discarded, but no, one of them's a 2K. All right, Bonkley to reset the board here. It's going to be a turn later, though. Do we have anything else to follow up with it? And every single card Havington's had to put out here, it's less cards in hand to be able to defend against it. So, kind of leaving your shields open. It's going to be a pass back. All right, Lithium, let's see if he sees the math here. Hands looking probably a little bit light here for Havington. His attack's getting easier to swing into, and I believe we're only 1 event away from getting the Sanji up to 7K. See, we got a Bonkley as our first play here. And looks like we're going to activate the leader ability here to -1 to play an event for free. Both burst. Likely going to get the draw. Yep. No need to bounce yet, but this will put Sanji up to 7K. Three Dawn left here. Can get amazing attacks in with the Sanjis here. And Invincible Reiju. Gonna activate another event here. Gonna go for the search. Wants to see all of his options. 2 open Dawn. Goes for another search event. That one's it can grab just by any. It can grab anything. I think Lithium off on the count here. Needs 3 more events to get up to 8K here. But with 2 piles kind of representing 2. All right, this one he gets any card. Bottom's the rest. Seriously, one of the best out there. Yeah, Lithium off by 1, bud. Off by 1. You have 11 cards. What's this? 12 cards in trash? 11 cards? Yeah, 12 cards in trash. Here comes 5 in a life, looking for 1. Havington on the take. Looking pretty good for an all-out swings here. Oh, trigger off the back with Electric Luna here. It's like we might have an opportunity to rest something. And Havington looking for an opportunity. Rest the Sanji. All right, climb the ladder here. 5 The attack here with the Reiju. This one also a take from Havington. The hand's clearly low on counter here. Here comes 7. American Ninja Warrior says, another day, another watching stream on the toilet. Hey, American Ninja Warrior, won a pack last week, by the way. Are you in my Discord? I can't. Can you DM me if you're in my Discord so I know to get this to how to get this to you? It was just a double rare pack, I think. But still, I like to get your winnings out to you. Congrats on the win last week. Always fun to be watching some One Piece from the toilet. I've been there quite a few times. All right. 1 life to 2 life. Havington now on his back foot here. Needs to get the board state where he wants for this massive swing. He's running out of turns. Based on the way this game is going, if he can't get this massive board state out or some kind of blockers out, this might be lights out. Electric Luna maybe to the play here. That's a good play. This will freeze the board down. Giving him another turn. That is probably the best card he could have in this situation. Locking down this board. That's why this card's so good. Galdino and Leader can still swing in for ability here, though. Galdino might just stop it. So Havington might just use it. We'll see. It's looking like. Yep, Galdino's going to freeze Galdino. Draw 2 cards. Now Lithium with Leader only on the swing here. Havington definitely going to be able to survive next turn. As we saw, there was no rush from Lithium's deck, so anything he plays out here is just going to be another game piece. But Leader coming in, looking for 1. See if Lithium has one of the 0 costs for a simple counter out and replace itself. Does have 1 open, so could use one of those counter cards. But kind of a waste to put a 4K counter on a 5K swing. Havington's still in the tank here. Got a couple more cards here left to play. 7, 8. Oh. Looks like Lithium on a 5K swing. Gonna go for Gum Gum Giant. Wow. And discarding another copy of Gravity Blade, indicating he may have another Reiju in hand. Or just thinks that he's in a winning position. But the whole board is frozen for him here. We'll see what Lithium does next. Draw for turn. 7 Dawn. Only Leader can swing right now. There's a Reiju. This one, not the Reiju that gets the stuff from the yard, but a Reiju. Nice little blocker. That one's going to get the plus 2K to attack. Activate Leader ability to get a free Bosburf. Draw 2. Has a 7K for this turn. 3 open Dawn. Lithium looking to go up for at least a 6K to get a 2K out of hand if he has it. 6 to Havington. 2K needed. And looks like he has it. Lithium putting up the counter where he's got a plus 5 cost and a nice little plus 2K body. Havington, probably on his last life here, needs another freeze turn if he has it. But we've already seen him use 2 of Electric Lunas. 1 from life, 1 from hand. And going off his deck list, he only has 1 left. I don't think he can survive another turn. These Monkey Luffys are already counteracting each other. Oh, a Gravity Blade here. Good answer. Getting rid of 2 of the threats. But is that going to be enough? Because Galdino, Sanji, and good thing he didn't target that Sanji because it negates the entire effect of that card using the Sanji ability. So good on having to not targeting that Sanji. Don't want to have an opportunity where they could just return one Dawn and negate the entirety of that effect. Crocodile on the bounce. Good, he can bounce a Monkey Luffy. Hopefully play out another 2 cost here. And good to see a blocker. But we'll see if it's going to be enough. Interesting. Going for the Mr. 3? If I was going to bounce, I think... I was going to say no. We got a 5 and a life here. I didn't see the counter. I must have countered from the back row. Keeping all of his events on the right here. Another, oh, big play. 5 cost. Reiju comes out. We got the Gravity Blade in the yard. Blocker Galdino off the field. Having his absolute worst nightmare to see in this situation. That may be the 5th one to put this Sanji up to 8K. We got 4 available Dawn. Leader swing. 8K Sanji. Galdino and potentially a swing from this Vinsmoke Reiju if we want. Only 2 of these attacks need to land. Here comes the Poke the Bear. 5. Havington on the take for 5. Massive play here. Sanji going up. This one's going to be huge. That's going to close the game, and Lithium takes it home with blue-purple Sanji. Congratulations, Lithium. Well done on that performance there. Way to surgically extract that thing and showcase just how strong that 5 cost Reiju is. But you don't play a 7 cost from the trash, which I do. Again, I appreciate that side. I really appreciate the feedback. Always nice. I can't always catch every single card all the time. And that's why I need sometimes you guys a little support to remind me that there's some amazing cards that these guys could be playing. And discarding it isn't the end of the world here. Because as I said, that Gravity Blade is the game decider for this matchup here. If you're out there and you have access to the Gravity Blade, you should be playing it. Obviously, you got to be playing blue, but you should be playing it. There's a lot of cards, especially with this blue-green Luffy, that card is an absolutely big game changer. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back for round 2. And of course, if you haven't yet, exclamation point join for your chance to win one of these 2 free packs. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Humble Pie. I'm your host, Jimmy D, and here we are for round 2 of 3. Sadly, not 4. I wish it was more. But we're going to round 2 of this content. Now, it's going to look a little bit weird, and this is the way this format goes. The round 2 pairings were missed by me while I was in another event hosting up and trying to take care of the draft for Magic the Gathering. So I missed getting the person who was supposed to be at table 1 at the camera. And because of that, I was graciously blessed with Wolf and Dom to take in for a quick match and showcase really 2 cool red decks that we're going to get into. So I was confused, or maybe wondering why Wolf isn't playing his casual Shanks deck that he's been using for great success within our meta and playing something like red, yellow, Jewelry Bonnie. This is a fun match that I got to get some coverage for and do some talk over and showcase one of his really cool decks that he has in his repertoire, or his arsenal, if you will, of decks to play here. And we're going to see his Jewelry Bonnie deck go up against his Shanks deck right now. Let's get into those decks. Starting off with Jewelry Bonnie, a card that honestly craps on a lot of current decks that are pretty good right now. The only one I would say that like has a decent advantage is the blue-purple, the blue-green Monkey Luffy, and it's only because of Galdino. You're able to answer that threat. This deck is a monster to have to fight against. Yamato hates this deck. Most of the decks that are trying to attack with those 5 and 6k characters, just trying to poke the bear, are gonna have a bad time, and here's why. If you have 1 or less life cards, this character gains 2,000 power. So 1 or less life, automatic 7k leader. And what do the rest of these cards do? They basically make it a 9k, and we're going to talk about that in just a minute. But really, all this is, you got a nice little card that allows you to pump up this leader into that 7k, which is already devastating for a lot of these cards. And as we've seen time and time again, leaders with base 6 and 7 often negate a lot of free attacks from your opponent because they don't have the dawn to allocate to climb up that ladder and swing into it. It's really difficult to continually apply pressure by playing cards, and on top of that, swing into leaders that have these ridiculous 7, 9, and even in some weird cases 11k bodies that are just monsters to swing into. Now, might it only last for the turn, but with this Jewelry Bonnie on your opponent's turn, it's always gonna be 7k, is so long as they have 1 or less life. Activate main once per turn. Give to one of your opponent's characters minus 1,000 power during this turn. Then, if you have 2 or more life cards, you may add 1 card from the top of your life cards to your hand. So, really, all this is kind of like an enabler. It's like on the surface here, you just have a way to make sure that if your opponent's trying to not put you at the 7k or put you in that situation, or trying to play around that 7k push, this is a way for you to do it yourself. They try to starve you. No, thank you. I don't need you. I can get around the starvation. We got a Jewelry Bonnie Searcher. We got Son Goku Blocker here. On block, if you have 2 of those life cards, draw a card here. You have Zeus that deals with some tiny threats and mid-game threats. Sanji to get some unblockable attacks here. Sanji with a 4 cost allows when attacking this character's base power becomes the same as your opponent's leader during this turn. So another one of those threats for the get like Galdino here. This one allows you to start swinging into, or Bunkley, sorry. This one allows you to start swinging in from massive swing. So it doesn't matter what your the power of your opponent's life cards. This Sanji is a great answer for it. And on KO, if you have 2 or less life cards, play up to 1 yellow character with 6,000 power less from your hand. So one of those cards that has a nice little replacement effect, where you can get a nice little Nami to take life out there if you want to. You got Baby 5 for the nice little trigger and 2k because this is a multicolored leader. Nami that takes a life and replaces itself if they KO it. You got Borsalino for life gain, because who doesn't like seeing Borsalino life gain blocker. You got Bartholomew Kuma at the 7 cost. If you have 2 or less life cards, add up to 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life cards. And on KO, add up to 1 card from the top of your opponent's life cards to their owner's hand. So nice little anti, don't swing into me or I'm going to take your life card. Top of that, we have first 2k enabler, the Zoro, that gives plus 2k to the next opponent's next end phase. So if in a pinch you got yourself Jewelry Bonnie at the last life and last swing, being at 9k, you got Jewelry Bonnie here that takes a life and has Rush, which is super, super disgusting and super hard to deal with, and is always a looming threat. You guys, what essentially is this 9 cost Luffy that also boosts your leader up by 2k and turns itself into a blocker in the late game. So you've got, you guys noticing a trend here. We've got cards that turn the 7k into a 9k in the late game. On top of that, you gotta fight through some giant cards that are gonna be swinging next turn for 12k. Of course, you got Goldie Roger as an alternate win con, because this thing doesn't have those 10 cost Shanks access. This is probably one of the best answers you can throw in the deck here. It is a great win con. It is a deck where you could be at 0 life. Trust me, it's an all-around phenomenal card. We got Distorted Future here. It has a plus 3k counter, but also if you have 2 or less life cards, give it to one of your opponent's characters 3,000 power this turn. So if you want to get rid of a threat, this is a good way to do so. We've got He Possesses the World's Most Brilliant Mind, which is a nice little top 5 card searcher. We got the Raw Heat Strike, excuse me, up to one of your leader or characters gains plus 2,000 power during this battle, and if you have 1 or less life cards, give up to one of your opponent's leaders or characters minus 2,000. So, a situationally 4k counter for 1. Always good, especially in today's meta. And the unbanned card, Kingdom Come. Main, KO up to one of your opponent's characters, then trash cards in the top of your life cards until you have 1 life. Excellent card, is a nice 1-for-1 dealing with any kind of threat your opponent might throw at you. Kingdom Come is back, even with a Nell still looming around the corner. This deck's going up here against Shanks. This one a little bit modified from the one I have. Also to note here has the Shanks that I'm still waiting for in the mail. Hopefully it'll get soon here. This one on play and when attacking, your opponent cannot activate blocker. So why do you need Roger when you have this one all together that just basically says no blocking, no blocking. It doesn't matter if I'm a 0 or not life. No blocking. This card is absolutely disgusting. Of course, you got Pop Shanks here. You've got the 10 cost stack Shanks that allows you to reduce your opponent's characters by 1,000 power. And they do stack. Shanks that can be reduced down to 6 cost and gives your leader plus 2k, which is going to be helpful in this matchup here because with the leader going up to 7k, you're going to need something to answer yourself to go up to 7k if you're going to be swinging into this monkey, into this Jewelry Bonnie. We got Ben Beckman that does the trashing effect by getting rid of 6k or base powers or less. Or 7, what was it? 6k base power less, or 6k power. Uda that comes out for 2 so long as you have any of these Shanks out on the field. Ben Beckman that plays any of these Shanks out in the field, which is kind of why this thing's seeing a growing resurgence in play, honestly, here. This is by far one of the greatest cards you can have in this deck. I love this. For 6 Dawn, essentially, you can play any of these Shanks for free, and then you still have 4 Dawn left. So you can allocate some Dawn here for a swing if you want to, but you can also play any of your 4K blockers or even an Uda blocker if you want to. There's a lot of really good 4K blockers in this deck. Shanks that turns every card into a 2K for once per turn. You got the Lucky Rue that allows you to draw, and the devastating Lucky Rue that can KO 6,000 base power when it blocks. Rockstar here for the protection, Asabalubi to get some of those rested Dawn, Uda for the search, and Hongo Bongo for that 2K power that can sometimes come into play with the minus 2K if you really need it in a pinch. I think the only other card we gotta look into is this one's really funny. Nobody hurts a friend of mine. Main, if your leader is red hair type pirates, give it to one of your opponents minus 3,000 power then this turn. Then if your opponent has a character of 5,000 on power or more, draw a card. So cool. I mean, you get a minus 3,000 on your main, deals with decent threats, can get you an easy way to attack into something if you need to, and card replaces itself, so not terrible. Would like this card to have a counter if possible, but sadly that we didn't have that power creep with these mains and counters too frequent in the meta like they are today. All right, let's get into our round 2 matchup. Dom Wolf with the free round for me. Appreciate you so much for putting this together for me. Almost didn't have 3 rounds. Can you imagine our stream with just 2 rounds of content? That'd be boring. All right, starting off with our basic search here from Wolf. Get things started, but Dom with the one Dawn clearly didn't have anything to play here. And I love that he's got the Shanks Dawn. That's actually I just ended up purchasing all those Dawn, $250 a piece here recently, so I can get my Shanks up there. Sadly, I do have that Shanks, but I don't want to open the box because that box is insanely valuable and I want to put my kids through college. Like the cost of those leaders from that box is skyrocketed to a point I didn't even foresee. Okay, nothing in hand here for Dom for the 3 cost. So here comes an easy AK swing and a take for Wolf. Back to Wolf. 4 Dawn turn. Putting things in frame for me, which I appreciate. Let's see, we got a simple 5k in the life here. Going to use leader ability. That's why we do it. 4 Dawn. Love the Shanks. Back in the day when there was just a bunch of 5k's leaders, this was just a great counter here. And Sanji, the one that can copy leader's ability, out for the play here. Also one of the threats you don't like removing because it can replace itself. All right. A little bit late here. I imagine this is probably the draw for turn. Was a nice little event searcher here. Dom looking for some answers. Hopefully going to get out some kind of 4K blocker or 4-cost blocker. Maybe a Shanks, maybe a Lucky Rue or something to add to board here. Because we're sitting a little dry. Even though Wolf hasn't put on the pressure yet, we're going to need to get that pressure on against this deck. Because once it gets in the late game, it's very hard to swing into. Pop Shanks the grab here, 5 in a life. Wolf on the easy take, and here's a 4 cost alt art blocker Shanks, turning every single card in his hand into a potential 2K. 6K into life here, using the Sanji ability. Dom on the take. Now resting up 6 for Nami. That one's going to take another life here, and another swing for 6K. Activating the ability to reduce the effect, the attack here. I guess that means forcing the Shanks to have to use counter here. Here comes 6. Or sorry, the block for 5 needs a 2, and has a 2. Didn't even need to use the ability. All right, back to Dawn. Dom. 7 Dawn turn. We're going to see a Ben Beckman. It would be the nice little curve here. Definitely going to help you recover, given you've stumbled the first couple of turns here. Really want to have those early games where we put out some searchers and some small bodies here. And sadly, the first real piece we have is the Shanks blocker. Dom reading this to find out that it is going to be a 4K during his turn, so it is an attack target. But if he does KO it, it can replace itself. So be careful. Could just be the card that Wolf wants to put out. 6K and still 3 life. He could actually sneak out another Nami on him, taking that last bit of life here. Dom looking at it. It is an on KO ability, so Trash will get around it. If we want to. Looking like we're topping 4 for a swing. Interesting. 9K into life here. Wolf likely on the take. Gets the draw 2 from the baby 5 and instantaneously putting his leader up to 7K. And an 8K swing. Interesting. Dom's just trying to close out the game right now. Needed 2K from Wolf. I'm sure he has it. No. All right, there we go. Baby 5. All right, but that's going to be it for Dom. Now his field's a little bit more vulnerable here. I'm sorry, that was a 9K swing. My bad. All right, Dom looking a little more vulnerable here. Nothing added to the board state here, but looks like he's just trying to get to the 10 Dawn turn. Sadly, on the play is going to be a 1 turn late than he wants to be to get that Ben Beckman Shanks combo here. Wolf in a prime opportunity to start taking advantage of this board state. 8 Dawn turn. Could see a Kuma heal if we want to. Could also see a nice little character rush here. I don't think we don't have an 8K body out though, so sadly, Wolf, you're not going to be able to get the character rush from the Zoro, but you can put your leader up plus 2K, which will make your leader a nice little 9K in the back turn. But Wolf thinking through the options, probably talking to Dom about all the different options. Lovely's two like to talk about deck strategies here, so they're probably both going back and forth and exactly how they would sequence this turn and play through these things. Clearly see by the hand motions here that Dom's like basically talking about how I guess going for life here now, trying to catch you while your hand's empty possibly, is a decent choice here. All right, Roanoa Zoro, not going to get the character rush, but is going to get the plus 2K, so we're already sitting at a 9K leader on the opponent's turn here. I don't even know what they're talking about. I think they might be talking about economics here on the table here. So much hand motion here. I thought I needed an 8K body. All right, yep. Okay, they got it fixed. Needs an 8K body to rush here. But we definitely gonna get the 7 into 5 here. The Big O, good to see you. Welcome back. Round 2 content, bud. Thank you for the next point join. Looks like we are gonna get a counter from here. Shank's ability reducing this down to 6 for the turn. Still going to need a 2K so he can discard anything. It looks like he did discard a 2K, an actual 2K. About to log into YouTube as a Donald Oliver. I'll get you, buddy. Simple as that. Appreciate you. And Sermon, good to see you. Thank you so much. Exclamation point join. Looks like we are going to activate the ability of this one to counter the attack from the Sanji. This is a 7K swing. It's looking like 7K swing into the blocker. That one's going to clean up the board here for Dom. Dom not in a very good position. Nothing on the board state. 9 Dawn, still one short of playing the Ben Beckman combos here. And sadly, way too far behind on the board here. 9K leader, 1 life, no blocker, but going for a massive swing. Oh, okay, gonna go for it. 15, or no, sorry, 14. Wolf on the take, just a pass back. But now Dom feeling pretty vulnerable here. No characters on the field, no pressure next turn. Wolf just needs to put out some kind of blocker here to stop a nice little 15K swing. Using leader ability to cancel the Sanji swing. 2K to counter the swing from Nami here. Still has counter here. Here comes Monkey Luffy. Pumping it up. We're going to see another turn with 9K leader. And a 12K blocker. So Dom's strategy to swing alpha next turn is absolutely turned off. Here comes our 7, looking for 2. Gets a take. And a search off the trigger. 9, gonna have to take. Down to 1. Dom, no board state here. 12K blocker for Wolf. This is the turn. Okay, we're gonna reduce the attack here. Interesting. Reducing Luffy's attack here. Interesting. Play out the Ben Beckman. So here's the play for Ben. Only gonna have 2 Dawn left after this play. Shank's gonna pop it. And there we go. And that was a combo. Giving a way to get rid of that blocker. But sadly, now we don't have any Dawn for allocating the swing. We did get a blocker on this turn. But see, this is just... While you did get rid of that 12K swing... Good on you, but now you still can't swing. You gotta go board state here. And most of these characters can replace themselves. Dom thinking about going for it. Yep, goes to the 5 to 4. 2K counter requested from Wolf. And again, this one can replace itself. So we might just see it replace itself. That could be the case. It is Borsellino life gain. Not what you want to see from taking this hit. Borsellino with a new block and... Oh, man. Free character. Dom just running into this trap. And wondering, what does this do again? Yeah, it gains your life, bud. All right, 2 out for Uda blocker. Not a bad turn for Dom. Not a bad turn. I like this. Double blocker, pop Shanks, threatening leader next turn, but he needs to survive this turn at 1 life. Goldie Roger shutting down the entire opportunity to go for blocker. That, oh, Dom just says, I'm just gonna activate blocker. I'm into this game right now. Goldie Roger still strong in today's meta and still winning the metas out of nowhere. Honestly, I would have done the same thing. I'm going out of my own terms. You're going to throw a Goldie Roger on me? I'm going out of my own terms. That's how this works. I'm not taking the time for you to start poking me with the leader. We ended things now. This is it. All the blockers turned off. Not a bad turn from Dom there, but Wolf closing out and just showing how strong that Druid Bonnie really is. I'd say the only weakness that deck really has is if it can't keep the leader at 9K for the next turn, or having some kind of blocker package out there in some way to try to keep itself from going down to that 0. It is a little dangerous. However, it does have some great cards and some great answers in late game. And trust me, as a person that's been enjoying Yamato recently, this deck craps all over Yamato. It does numbers and bangbusters against the green-blue Dolphy deck. But obviously, you got to worry about Bonclay, got to worry about him, but it's still doing some bangbusters. All right, that is going to do it. Goldie Rogers for GG's. The Big O, you're 100% right. That thing just puts in so much work. All right, we're going to take a little bit of a longer break than normal, but just about 5-6 minutes. Stay tuned. Once we come back, the third and final round, and of course, Pack time. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Song on Spruce Street made me smile like Gucci sweet. I bet I could get her number sometime. She was just standing there as I walked away. I should have said hi. I thought to myself, oh, you're way better than the one before. Got a vibe from just looking at her eyes, and I can't stop, can't get her off my mind. Oh, so if I look back, will I ever forget those eyes? Yeah. The city is too bright at night. I need to get away, think I need some time, 'cause she's on my mind.
at the edge of the bed. Heart bargain, I can still feel the jargon all gibberish in my head. These days are so shaky, I want to assure you, baby. Don't be a stranger very long. The more you
Welcome back to Humble Pie. I'm your host, Jimmy D, and here we are back for the third and final round of today's matchup. We've got Shanks versus Blue Yellow Nami. And you guys probably expected that. I mean, the deck's really good right now. But we're going to see how long that deck is going to remain powerful after we get the awesome upgrades coming out from the Ronoro Zoro deck in green that's going to be making Dracula Mihawk pretty strong and very, very terrifying, along with some of the other decks that are going to be powering up the red-green Luffy that's been putting on some massive numbers on the sim, and some other decks that people have just been kind of sleeping on, because these starter decks, they're not just good for some of the leaders that you're looking at now. They're actually really good for other decks out there. And I want you guys, just like the Can't Stop Gaming, what is his name? Can't Stop Games is playing out the Emu deck that could honestly come out of nowhere and win some certain events, so long as the meta's looking good, the matchups look good for them. There's a lot of these old decks that get powered up from these new cards, including from OP17. A lot of these cards I'm seeing in here are pretty good for older leaders and might just be find a home in those older leaders. So if you're a fan of something like Nico Robin or whatnot, there are some new pieces that you could add to your deck that might make her good again. Who knows? There's a lot of like Dawn allocation stuff that's getting out there that's going to really help out with some of these other decks that were kind of struggling in the earlier metas, and some other packages that you can kind of like fit within your own pool here, especially since they're lacking a lot of leader lock stuff. They are leader locking a few cards, really powerful cards in some cases, but they aren't really leader locking a lot of the yellow stuff and some of the newer like black stuff and even some of the red stuff. We're not seeing a whole lot like the new gate that came out that gives any of your leaders plus 2k and double damage, which is awesome. It's great. You got cards that kind of slot into any kind of red deck. I've been loving it. It's been paying off for me tremendously in Shanks, to be honest with you. That double damage, absolutely what you're going to need to get in against yellow. Now we're going to be playing against a deck that's not using the Edward Newgate as recommended by me, but that's okay. This is a really cool deck, a really cool shot at it. I really like seeing other people's takes on the Shanks deck, because I, like the rest of you, have been coping like crazy that I think Shanks is pretty good, and clearly it is. 3 weeks in a row, or three events in a row here, Shanks has been in the finals. Whether it's won or not, it's gotten itself to the finals here, and gotten itself an opportunity to win one of those coveted packs that we give away at Lifelink Games. And speaking of packs, we got packs to give away at the end of the stream. Exclamation point join on YouTube or on my on Twitch, where I am live. So whenever I am live, it's your opportunity to get these free packs. We still have a hit left with 6 packs left, not including these two. That's 8 packs total here left before we're going to run out of this box. We're going to have to start getting you guys some other prize support to carry us over to OP17, where I'll get a new community box for you all, and we're going to be opening up OP17 packs, chasing that Monkey Luffy leader, and hopefully giving away a $20,000 card. And guys, I know I talked a lot about finances at the beginning. We're going to do some more talking on Wednesday when we come back about and talk about some more of the financing. Got some really cool videos I want to show you guys, some other things to showcase some of the evidence I have for where the bust is going to happen, the bubble is going to burst, but we as players are going to be looking pretty good. And I gotta say, one of the things that I really enjoy is the fact that the cards like that Monkey Luffy that are coming out that are going to be extremely scarce, very like unlikely for you to even pull it as it is, because it's so rare to pull. Those cards are going to be absolutely safe, in my personal opinion, when it comes to the burst. It's going to happen. It's probably going to kick out a lot of scalpers, where the players are going to rejoice. But I got to tell you, when it comes to some of these top end value cards, the $10,000 to $20,000 cards, and even more than that, honestly, I see those cards sticking around for a long time, and we'll talk about in detail on Wednesday exactly why I believe that. You guys have to understand there's a lot of other factors at play when it comes to card games than just the player market. But if you're a store out there still using the scalper prices to sell your product, you're going to be in for a lot of hurt here once that burst happens, because not only is your profit window now gone, you're now going to have to pay the price of having screwed over your customers for however long this boom has been out here, and kind of preventing people from playing the game. It's going to be on you to try and rebuild that player base. Hopefully you'll recover and you get players and people keep coming back when you're charging the appropriate prices. But trust me, there's some stores in this area that are going to be suffering pretty strongly once that burst happens, because the profit margin that they were banking on is no longer there, and the player base went somewhere else, like Lifelink Games, where we sell at MSRP. All right, let's get into the last round. We've got 2 decks, Shanks versus Blue Yellow Nami, head to head. Let's check it out. Starting off with Shanks, we just covered this one. The last one is back again here. This one, the last one was just a fun match, but Shanks was able to actually take home the win outside before coming out and giving us a fun match here. And Wolf is this time going to be piloting this Shanks build here. We've got a lot of great answers. We talked about this. The Rockstar that does for the protection, the 2K counters are looking great, especially with that 4-cost blocker Shanks that turns everything in your hand into a 2K at least once per turn. You got the leader ability that does minus 1K once per turn. That kind of like negates those little 5K swings. You got some great locker packages of Lucky Roo to get some draw cards if you need to in the mid game, and of course the Lucky Roo that KOs anything base power 6,000 or less. The name, the reason, the whole point of bringing this deck back, the new Ben Beckman from OP16. Play this, rest one Dawn, play a Shanks for free out from your hand. You can play out the 9-cost Shanks that gives +2 to the leader. You can play the -1 that stacks 12K Rusher. You've got the 10K that turns off blockers on play and when attacking, and you got the Pop Shanks. Kill anything that's 10,000 power or less. You got some nice reduction. This combo card right here, really good with this Ben Beckman to giving you an opportunity to kill anything that's even 13K or more. So anything in the deck, honestly, this is the reason we're playing it. It KOs anything so long as they can combo these cards together. And of course, if necessary in a pinch, you can discard it for the 2K with this leader. Uda can be a 2-cost, which is a nice little play here if you need to wall up and your opponent's not at 0 life and get Goldie Roger, of course. An event searcher here, still all around good deck here. I like the way what it's trying to do. Every stage of the deck is well defined. Early game's the stage start for the search. Mid game, put out the blockers. Late game, drop the Shanks, and still win in the same win strategy that the Shanks always has. The Big O says, looks like both red and green Shanks are good. Honestly, with cards like this, how could you not be? I think, honestly, you got the green Shanks that rests all your opponent's characters, has rush, restands 2. That's going to be absolutely outstanding for any green deck because it is not leader locked, and they're looking pretty good for the top end. And then you got this promo Shanks that just came out that finally went down to about 15 bucks per card. I bought myself a playset because I couldn't get my hands on any, but I did get myself a playset because I know how good this card's going to be. An absolute staple in most red decks. I mean, turning off blocker, all you got to do is make sure that's the first thing that swings every turn. Blocker don't mean anything, and that's exactly what you want to see in a red deck. You drop this thing out first and you can afford to take the next swings, then follow it up with this Shanks behind. Your opponent's having a bad day. Then we got Blue Yellow Nami. Who hasn't seen this deck before? Please raise your hand. I want to know. Chainlow says they cannot release a red-green Shanks now. Oh, God. If they did a red-green Shanks, I'd lose my mind. That would be too good. Way too good. You got the 7 cost that reduces by 1,000 when it's rested. And, oh, my gosh. Along with the 10 cost? Ugh, that's going to be power trip. That would be way too strong. I think we'll see a red-green Shanks about the time that this block rotates out. That'll probably when we see red-green Shanks. But if that does happen, it's going to have to take some cards with it because, good Lord. What's this, block 3 as well? Yeah, it's block 3. It needs to take some of these Shanks out here. I think this one's block 4. No, it's still block 3. Jeez. Sai says they can absolutely can. I hope they don't. You could Beckman into a green Shanks. Oh, yes, you could. Yes, you could. That would be absolutely disgusting. Red Beckman. Oh, man. Oh, and get all the restand Dawn effects from all the other green characters. Ugh. Ugh. You want to make me puke in my mouth. That sounds too powerful. Sai says red Shanks and green Shanks are pretty weak, to be honest. Okay, sure, Sai, sure. Yeah, tell me that when you play your opponent, when you realize that your 5K bodies are now like 3K bodies on your opponent's turn, like, or on their turn. Like, nothing makes me happy that all my cards are now, it's super hard to swing into, and I got cards like this 9-cost Shanks that can be a 6-cost Shanks, boosting my leader up to 7K. Skill issue. Love it. Whizzle Pizzle, welcome back. Good to see you on YouTube. All right, this is the deck we're going to be going into. Like I said, the Blue Yellow Nami card. This one, obviously, it's good for a lot of reasons. The colors, amazing. The slop that you can throw into this, absolutely amazing. You don't even need to be on theme. This thing draws cards when you take life, whether you or your opponent. It gets to 7K every single turn by trashing a simple card. You do have to have a Dawn attached, but there's a lot of cards that enable that, so it isn't really that difficult. Even on curve, you're not really playing with a lot of cards that don't kind of enable you to put that Dawn underneath it to put this character at 7K every single time. And like we said, 7K, especially in the early turns, really turns off a lot of early swings. So when you have a deck that can gain life, turn off early swings, really reduce your opponent's aggressive turn, take those Yamato swings out, force them into having to only play with the big Yamatos if they want to swing in at all. You're really limiting the amount of threats that you're going to be seeing in the early game. And on top of that, you have ways to kind of like counter the mid game with the Thriller Slop. Sai says, oh my gosh, real, just swing lead. Okay. Just don't play blockers or swingers, I guess. I mean, in this one, you're going to have to. Yes. Fall bad. By the way, Jimmy, can you give me an admin so I can ban chain? No, absolutely not. I love having Chainlaw in the chat. All right, we do have the Thriller Slot package in this game. Perona kind of freezing the mid game, which has always been so good, and ability to put out some extra bodies out here, which is why you see this in just about every yellow deck. It's even seen play on the sim with the new yellow Linlin deck that's coming out in OP17. You got the 8-cost Whitebeard, so you can, or Blackbeard, so you can look at the top 3 cards and put anything you want from those 3 into life, so you can choose whatever you want. That's always great. You can gain some life with Nico Robin, take 1, replace it by 2. Borsalino, gain some life. That's great. Love that. Can't say no. I hate it. You got Wiper, which is an amazing answer for the current meta, and still going to be good next meta. If you ask me about certain cards, this is actually going to be a decent card still. Going to the next meta. It's not going to be the best answer, but still going to be an answer and one of the best answers for the green-blue Luffy deck that this deck actually kind of struggles a little bit against it. Sai says, oh wait, no, Chainlaw says, Jimmy, can you give me admin so I can ban Sai? No, as a friend though. Where is their hate coming from? Not cool, man, not cool. Okay, never mind. No banning in my chat unless you guys talk about something that's not card games or get disruptive. I love you guys. Keep the conversations going. I appreciate it. All right. Of course, Baby 5 because it draws cards and multi-leaders. Marco because it's one of the best blockers in the game that draws 2 on KO. Galdino because, of course, I mean, guys, do I need to say more Galdino? Like, what are the blue decks? I don't have any of the blue decks to show. Guys, every time I show a blue deck, it's got Galdino in it. Let's go. This guy is absolutely a must-have in blue decks. Doesn't matter if you can't search it. This card's absolutely insane. You got yourself the 12K blocker from Whitebeard, which is absolutely super cool. And, of course, the most threatening event out there, Gravity Blade. Taking 2 6-cost less and bottom decking them. Getting rid of those pesky little KO abilities, but also really doing a great number of turn the tide in your favor in any kind of deck that can afford to play this card. I mean, you got to have blue and 7 Dawn, obviously. Bell Luffy, this one I've heard a lot of great things about. This thing is super good against people playing event cards and using blocker. Getting you to boost this thing's attack by the cost of the card revealed from the top of your life cards, super strong. And on top of that, it has Rush. I've seen this thing literally win games. Can you imagine, which has happened, revealing a 10 cost from life? You don't like seeing them in life in yellow. You don't like seeing this in Nami. But if you did, and you got the Bell Luffy out, whoo, oofta. 17K swing, let's go. Ooh, woo. That's what I'm talking about. Of course, we do have the Rornosaur life heal, because why not? Because we have more life heal, because we need it. And ways to get it back from the trash if we want to with Gecko Moria. Super good around all deck. This deck does get slightly power crept out with the new meta coming around the corner. So, if you're tired of this deck, don't worry. Like we said, wait a couple months, and it'll get pushed out by the meta. Let's talk about that as we go into a potential win with Shanks versus Blue Yellow Nami. Wolf and Xander head to head. Wolf does have a capability of getting underneath this deck, rushing out with those 10Ks. If we can see back-to-back 10-cost Shanks or some top-level Shanks here, I'm willing to bet you that's going to be enough pressure to keep Xander out there. One of the things I do like playing with in my current deck is Edward Newgate. That double attack has been very effective in helping overcome all the massive life gain these yellow decks have. It's not always a guaranteed winner, but it is definitely a necessary answer for decks like this one that gain life constantly. All right. Nothing for Wolf in turn 1. Kind of sad, but still, we can still recoup and get up in the game here. Having to take a life from a nice little 8K swing, which is an easy take for a 5K leader. For Dawn here, are we going to see a blocker or a 9K swing? Lots of options here for Wolf here. A lot of blockers. Lucky Ruse and Shanks plays. Looks like we're going for the 9K swing. Xander going to have to give up quite a few cards he wants to counter out of this one. He's going to have to take the life. Gonna pitch anyways, just in case for the counter. Does he get rewarded for pitching? No. So Xander out there does pitch for the 2K. Is absolutely a legal maneuver. You do not have to counter out to pitch. Can literally just pitch that. But setting up the odds that his life was going to give him some kind of option to put a body on board. Good play from Xander. It has paid off for him on camera before. Did not this time, but that's okay. 5 Dawn here. Lantern, we're probably going to see a Nami enabler here. Nami going to take a free life. Yeah, Wolf sees it coming. Instantaneously putting the Frested Dawn underneath the leader. We're going to see a 6K swing. Could get reduced to 5 and a 1K counter from Wolf. We'll see. Xander on the draw. Use the leader ability here, of course, after the Nami take. 6 to life. Let's see what we got. 2K counter requested. He gets to use the leader ability and the 1K for the Beckman. That's going to pass back. Now 6 Dawn turn for Wolf. Only 2 turns away from starting to see some back-to-back Beckmans and hopefully some back-to-back Shanks if we got it. Didn't see some early game searching, which would really help out and make sure that we do see those 2-card combos that we want to see in the late game. But he could still have it in hand as well. There is variance in this game. At 6 Dawn, we do have quite a few options. Can put a blocker, going for 7, get 2 cards on a hand here from Xander. Looking like no massive swing, just going all out here. 10K swing, 1 open. Looks like we probably have a search left after this, or 1K counter, but I didn't see any of the deck list, so likely going to be a searcher. 10K, another take from Xander. No trigger from life. This is exactly what Wolf wants to see. No mid game, nothing attacking the mid game. Can't freeze anything. No Perona locks here. And Xander down 2 life to 3. Chain low, clipped by Uwu. Nobody needs a ban. No, no, return them, return them. Bring them back. No banning. I won't need the bannings in this chat. They were feeding my algorithm, little pound cake. No, no bans. Sorry, 6K swing coming in. We've got a 2K counter. Now coming to 5K swing here. Looking like a Nico Robin play here. Likely going to follow up for a nice little gain. Take 1, gain 2. That's the play. Xander, take 1, gain 2. And that's probably going to be it for this turn. A little pound says he asked for it. I mean, technically, in weird ways, you could say he did technically ask for it. But I do need them for the chat. Now it's on purpose. It's on his permanent record. I don't think we have any of those for this store yet. Hit him with the perma. No! Do not hit him with the perma. Do not hit him with the perma. I like to use those bans very, very, very limited here. Love my crew. Love my audience. But about a wind up. 8 Dawn turn here for Wolf here. We'll see what he has to follow it. I'd say getting a nice little Ben Beckman play wouldn't be too bad here. It does avoid the KO trigger from the Nami here and would get rid of one of the board states and give him something to survive for a turn. Looks like we're going to get a search. Still available to play the Ben Beckman if we have it. Look at the top 5. Wolf 1 turn away from doing some Ben Beckman shenanigans here. And definitely wants to keep that tempo going in his favor, especially to get under this Nami deck. Sharpens the hammer, he says. All right, looking for a 10-cost Rush Shanks. This could be good if Wolf has the Ben Beckman to follow up with it. But right now, need to see it 5K into life. It's looking like we do have it. 7 open. Gonna get the activated ability, and Ben Beckman trashing that Nico Robin or Nami, knocking it out of the park. No KO trigger for you, sir. Now Wolf in a commanding position, 2 bodies versus 2 bodies, both people at 3K life, but Wolf able to drop off multiple bodies a turn starting next turn. So long as he has that Ben Beckman package, Wolf has got the opportunity to start really massively going wide with this deck. And Xander going to be put in an awkward situation where he has not been able to establish much of a board in his early game here. As I say multiple times on this channel, live by the trigger, die by the trigger. I can't say his name. All right, well, chain low it is. 9 Dawn turn here for Xander. Looking for the 6, making sure the Dawn is underneath for next turn here. 6 could get reduced by 1 and a 1K counter. Look like we've got 2K anyways. Here comes the nice 8. Could get reduced to a 7. 2 and a 1 would all be needed, or Wolf can take. He's on the take. 2K out of life. Nice. Gonna be helpful next turn. Tapping all the Dawn here for 9. Oh, he had the 1 underneath here. 8 here. Gonna look at the top 3 for a life heal. Wolf really gonna need to start punishing all these life heals. Chain low. I'm sorry, chain low. I owe you one. I can't even say that now. Good lord, brother. I don't know where you're getting that. I'm not a good position. I don't play a body until 8 dawn. You are in a good position to start going wider at this opportunity. If we have the cards, the Ben Beckman, and we can go wider here, we can start punching in and start putting some back foot on Xander here. We got a blocker. I don't see a Ben Beckman. Oh, there it is. Okay. So now we can start dropping some bodies. Need to see 2 copies of Ben Beckman, but we can drop a Ben Beckman, drop the Shanks that can give plus 2k to leader here. Put ourselves in a situation. I think I saw an Uda in there, so we can put out 2 different blockers as well. Also, we do have the blocker for the Shanks. Opportunity to drop 2 blockers, get out of the... Oh, okay. Use it to reduce the attack and Dawn? Okay. Interesting. Gonna reduce that for another Ben Beckman play. Does get around the on KO. Yep. All right. There is an answer there. That is a route we can take here. Ben Beckman and leader. Ben Beckman looking for 2 cards from hand. We'll see if Xander gives it up or uses one of those free lives he just got. Sai says, I think where you went wrong is you should have played more bodies earlier. Honestly, if you had the bodies, it could have helped a little bit more. The number of swings is absolutely needed to be higher against this matchup, given we see so much life gain. And again, why I keep pushing the Edward Newgate 8 cost, because that double damage is just you need something to help climb back up. Because as we're looking right now, it looks like Xander's taking absolutely no damage whatsoever. 4-2, climbing out, and has the opportunity to gain some even more life if he wants to. But you got to have some answers to get rid of these big bodies here, or these big life gain turns. 10 Dawn, are we going to see another one? All right. Edward Newgate the play. Got a nice little 12k blocker. Draw 2, discard. Add 2 to Newgate. Add 2 to leader. Wolf going to be face down to 7. And what's that? 10k? 10 or 11. See how this one turns out here. 7 can reduce by 1 to give it a 2. Does. 11 going to Beckman here, asking for a lot of cards in hand. Wolf just going to give it up. All right. Imagine now we're finally at the turn we're going to see the Ben Beckman stretch. Do have a capability of KOing the Whitebeard here, which doesn't have a negative ability here. So we can go Ben Beckman and pop in. Unless, is that the can't blocker? The 2 confuse me, because I know that they got similar alt arts to the red. 5k into life. Getting the card out, the obligatory card out of hand to put Nami at 7. Xander just choosing which one he wants to give up just to put this leader at 7 here. He's going to likely have to use it against Ben Beckman swing. Gravity Blade to play here. Makes sense. Not going to see a whole lot of targets in the late game here. Ben Beckman rests. Here we go. Which Shanks are we going with? Ah, the blockers can't be activated. Okay. No blockers this turn. Here comes 7. Hopefully Wolf can survive this turn, followed up with another Ben Beckman, another 12 cost Shanks. So it was the non-blocker Shanks here in hand. I don't see another Ben Beckman though. So we're hopefully going to have to see something from life. And hopefully deter Xander from using this. Well, actually, I think we just kind of enabled him. Now that I think about it. We kind of just told him he has to use the new gate as an attacker. So, one of the downsides to this in the mid game, you kind of like tell your opponent, this is now no longer an option to leave back as a blocker. And here's a new gate. Why not? If we got it. Not going to do much against this board, but it is going to power up to a bunch of big, heavy swings here. Going to be able to use both Shank's ability to get out a Nami swing at least. Discarding the 9-cost Shanks for the blocker Shanks here. And get a block. Debating on it. May turn it back. Going for the block. 3 cards in hand. 11 into Beckman. Gonna let that one go. 12 into Beckman. Gonna let that one go. Xander smart to starve. Keeping Wolf away from that Ben Beckman because it would really been good if he could have followed up with another one. 10 cost Rush Shanks the draw here. And the best play. Now reducing the attack of all these characters. Obviously going to want to attack with 12 the no block Shanks here first. 12 into life here. Oh, might be going into Blackbeard here. Clean things up. Or could be pushing Pride. We'll see if Wolf wants to go the starvation run himself here. Could be setting up for a turn. Yeah, going board. All right, teaches no more. We're going to go into Edward Newgate here. 2K. Yeah. And 5 into life. Looking to get one more card out. Got to do it. Got to poke. Yeah, Wolf, he had another Ben Beckman in here, would have been a much better position, especially given he has the Uda in hand here. Could have dropped massive targets here and filled this board up. Got to drop Ben Beckman, 10 cost Shanks, and gotten himself in the Uda blocker. Definitely preparing him for one more turn and putting out some massive swings with all these Shanks. But Xander, 10 on turn. It's one of the things I've seen, like, against this deck. I can beat the blue Nami if I have my Edward Newgate on 8 Dawn and then can go back-to-back Beckman plays. It's obviously very situational. Very, very situational for me to be able to get to win like that. But the times I've been able to do it, it has been very, very good. And has actually helped me get over the hump that these yellow decks create with their constant life gain. Xander going for the Nami play, or the Zeus play here to pop the Shanks. Can afford to take a life here. I definitely put him in a better position here for massive swings. Could be trying to close it out. Xander could see this as the turn he needs to. Here comes 11 coming into life. Shanks gonna have to take 1K with the Uda Searcher. Xander's likely gonna swing in with the other blocker here. Yep. Coming in. Looking to see if we got the counter in hand. Got 2, 2, and 1 for 5. Another 1K in hand. I think we can survive the swing. No, we can't. No. Alpha Swing Xander recognizing not to give Wolf another turn, especially after giving 2 cards in hand. Yeah, just slightly out of range. Great game, nonetheless, between these two players. Absolutely outstanding to see these two play. Love it. I think honestly, when it comes to this matchup, there's a lot of pieces you need to have for Shanks to get over this. And of course, Xander just seeing all that life gain. Looked like he had a Blackbeard trigger and a Hogback trigger coming up too, which is going to be absolutely just disgusting to try to fight through. And all the other kind of things they'd have to deal with. But it's like you gotta fight through it. And honestly, when it comes to these things, banish, double attack are your answers, guys. If you're having difficulty in this meta, try to put in some banish and double attack in the deck, because you gotta have something to threaten these decks that just constantly keep gaining life and keep utilizing their triggers to keep themselves alive. Now, some decks live and die by the triggers. I've seen it enough times. I've seen players go 0 and ridiculous because the triggers didn't go, and I've seen them go 12 and 0 because they got all the triggers. Lo says, I need my 4-cost blockers early against Nami. Not having anything to play until late dawn really hurt. It really did. I noticed you got to put the pressure. You got to keep putting the bodies out there in order to keep the pressure on the Nami player. You need them discarding a card every single turn. Hopefully 2, if not 3. Putting them in a situation where they need those life triggers and they're leaning heavier on those life triggers, and then have less options in which to put out decent threats out there. And if you had seen, I think, some earlier stuff, maybe start off with a nice little Searcher Udo would have been really good to get things started, to have some extra bodies so you're swinging twice, getting 2 resources out of hand here for Xander, either be 1 from life and 1 from hand, however you want to work it out. There's definitely like you got to be able to have those extra answers to pressure early and get underneath these things and kind of just punish them for taking the turn off just to heal them. Lo says, opening had after Mulligan was only 3 Beckman and 9. Oh, gosh. I lost before we even started. Honestly, yeah, you're right. If I would have seen that hand, I'd have said the same thing. That is ouch. All right, we got a wheel to put together. Got some new names to add to the wheel here from Whizzle Pizzle. He should have shuffled better. We got to teach a class on shuffling, I guess. Think that is everybody. It's your last chance if you haven't yet. Exclamation point join for your chance to win one of these 2 free packs, guys. We got all the names from YouTube, all the names from Twitch on the wheel. We got 2 packs to give away. Of course, every single hit from this box going to one of you. That way, if we end up getting that coveted manga, we get one of those nice little SPs or one of those big hits, it's going to you, baby. And by the way, if you guys weren't paying attention this last weekend at the store at Lifelink Games, during the Chainsaw Man pre-release, I gave away the 2-star from one of the packs from one of the people that played me on camera. Lotus went and played me, got a pack for playing me, 2-star. We're talking near $1,000 right now, FOMO prices, but near $1,000 in value. When it settles, I'm willing to bet you that 2-star somewhere going to be around $700, maybe $800, given the desire for the chainsaw. That's all it takes to join these things. You could have, it was in the same packs I was giving away for free that evening. So in any random chance, it could have been you tuning into my channel and getting yourself an $800 card simply by hitting exclamation point join. Simple as that. I've given away 8s. I've given away thousands. I've not given away tens of thousands. Not yet anyways. But I've given away a lot of good cards. And all it takes, follow this channel, hit the like, make sure you put the bell on when I go live, hit exclamation point join, and you got yourself a chance to win one of these free packs. And hopefully, it's going to be something big. Let's find out right now. All right, the wheel is set. Let's see pack number 1. We've got Lonely Doombot. Lonely Doombot with the win. It's been a couple weeks since you won last. It's about time we got you back in here. Got to get rid of the other one. Can only win 1. But Lonely Doombot, let's see what you got. Always rewarding. This is another one, like a lot of the people that come into this chat win a lot of back-to-back packs. And that's okay. That's what I want. I kind of make it that way. Like, I want you guys to be able to have multiple options to keep winning. Younger brother, Port Gosti Ace. I want you thinking you just come in here and just win 1. Older brother, Tony Chopper. Captain Buggy's our savior, Muckety Garp. I really wish this wasn't... it probably needs to be. I really wish it wasn't leader lock, because this would just be an auto staple for any purple deck. A lot of words. Izo. Van Augur, Buddha Sengoku, hey, Boa Hancock, Yeah, I can see where you're going that way. You're kind of glad it is locked because it is probably the best ramper in the game. Getting an active and arrested Dawn on the turn 5 Dawn is absolutely disgusting. My selfishness says I'd like to put Garp in my Monkey D, in my Goldie Roger deck, just so I have like that extra ramp. I want to get the extra ramp. It's greed. It's greed. It's still. Boa Hancock's the play here. Yeah, let's go. Only seeing you on YouTube. Congratulations. This is a nice little SR to add to the collection. This is by far, I think, a great non-leader locked green card that you're probably going to see play for a very, very long time. I could definitely see this being seen play in Shanks. I can definitely see this seen play in the new Mihawk deck. And honestly, it doesn't synergize well with the Rono Zoro, but it's still really good. Locking down a character, freezing it for a turn, 9k body in the swing, and the fact it's unblockable, gross. Gross. It's on the card. It's your top end heavy stuff. It's really good. It's a very, very good, especially in the turn that you would play it in the 7-down turn. It's a great tempo swing in your favor. All right, let's back to the wheel for pack number 2. I see that one just like I see Galdino. It's a good green card that you can put in any green deck. Hey, there's a big win here. The Big O, baby. The Big O with his alter ego. I think this is the second pack. Another big winner here. Picked this thing up here just recently. Let's go. Big O on the win. And see, both these players had 2 entries. By the way, both of them had 2 entries on this event here from YouTube and on Twitch. I will put your name on twice. You guys are helping my algorithm. I'm trying to do my best to get that algorithm pushed for YouTube because God knows what else I need to do. Take off some clothes, put on some skin or something. I don't know. What do you guys think I need to do to get some YouTube views? Sanji, Speed Jill, Don Quixote del Flamingo, Smoker, Black Hole, Bartholomew Kuma, Lafayette, Nico Robin. The Big O, what's their technique? Going on 2 different streams, baby. Boa Marigold, Sengoku, Catalina Devon. Hey, another one. That's you. Now, this one is leader locked, right? You may play swing card again. Yeah, that's leader locked. This is leader locked. Still a good card. Blackbeard, definitely a threat here. Good to get the SRs, good to get those things going. And one of the things I love about these SRs is, guys, that like right now it's worthless. Right now, you go in the market, it's 15, 50 cents, exactly where it needs to be. Exactly where it needs to be. Most, like even the bow is like $1. Doesn't seem like much. But bow in the long run, when we get into OP18, OP19, we start thinking back like, oh, wouldn't that good green card that we want to go back to? Those Galdinos, those boas. I don't know about sure you. I mean, if Blackbeard gets some massive support, it might be a massive pain in the butt. But those cards, they go up. And we've seen it. We've seen $15 Cavendish rares. We've seen $20 Electric Luna rares. We've seen these cards like just randomly get spiked because they're suddenly good. There's the time. Get them now. Get them while they're 15 cents and $1. Get the 4 copies of each card. Go to the stores. Make sure you have your play sets. Sit on that collection and build from there. That's the best advice I can give you in playing the card game. It's going to get even better when the burst happens. It's going to be a lot easier for you to get the product. When the prices go low, you're picking up all the pieces you need, the game pieces. When the prices are high, if you got a surplus, help those players out. Showcase it. Give it out to them. And hopefully they don't exceed 20 bucks. I hope they don't exceed 20 bucks. But still, in times like that where it's like, man, I really need these cards. These are all the rares that I was throwing away and trashing. Don't be that guy. Don't fall for the trap. Make sure you get 4 copies of each. They're very good cards, and I promise you these cards will likely see some kind of spike. From $1 to $5 is still 500%, baby. Lepunka says, lol, there's a McDonald's Bonnie deck that uses a Shiryu for the deck trigger. Oh, really? Really? What am I missing? For the trigger? Draw 2 cards. Well, why not? I mean, drawing 2 cards is not terrible. All right, I got to get these things shipped out to our 2 along with American Ninja Warrior. If you want to finally join me in the stream, I got to figure out where you're at. But we got 3 packs to give out. To the rest of you guys, hope you guys are all having a wonderful evening. Hope you guys had a great time watching the games just as much as I enjoyed covering them. We got some great coverage coming out on Wednesday. I'm going to have a nice little hour stream talking about some videos I found on the current economics that are happening with card games. Tune in if you guys want to have some background knowledge of exactly what's happening on the multi-layers that happen to be in TCG. While you as a player can see it from your perspective, I want you to understand there's a lot of things happening at different layers of the game, and they're things that can prepare you for the future to make good, smart decisions based on your own free will and decide to do so. And if you come into that chat, I promise you're probably going to learn something. I got some great sources, some great stuff to go over, some really cool videos I found that are talking about the right kind of topics that might inform you on how to invest for your future. And however you want to choose to, but recognize that there are things that are coming, good things are coming, and it's not just new releases. Guys, we're going to do a raid. Let's see who's available. Nice little refresh here. Let's see. Magus Maine. I made reservation to Chili's with my boys. Okay. Let's see. Do Primal Cards TCG. They're doing some. I like some paper card. Always really good to see some paper. I don't mind the sim. I'm glad it exists. Don't get me wrong. I think it's fantastic. But one of the things the sim does is it really teaches you some bad habits. You guys gotta remember the triggers, learn how to do things, how to make sure that you're playing the card game accurately. And honestly, the best part, the socialization. I don't want to talk to someone through the computer. They're hiding their anonymity and they're probably being a little nit about it anyways. I want to talk to you. I want to play with you. I don't feel I'll have the opportunity to play with you guys in the future. Tomorrow, Lifelink Games, we got some fun matches coming our way. But until then, stay humbro. All right, the raid is on the way.